me doing stand-up badly because you showed one last time. And 3,
I tried to, but I was just so talented.
I know, yeah, you tried to.
Just like intangible red flag territory. Like he's not saying anything specific,
interesting.
But like just as he's talking, you're like, do not be in a room alone with this man.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can all love each other. No.
All right, great. Okay, great. This is great. What about him is an intangible red flag? Is it a way he appears, way he talks, hand gestures?
Do you know what the word intangible means?
All right, I'm gonna go have a piss. Ashley, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Bitches.
I went down on a juicy poozy, and
I got a fart, and this chair's gonna make it reverberate. Hey, wait!
John.
Hey!
Oh no! Everybody else,
Hey!
What's going on? I'm just waiting for music. I thought you were getting music. Oh, I thought you were just getting
how
music.
my penis gets born.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here's a shed.
The ice cream cones came with a little metal packet that is just full of sugar. It's just full of sugar to be poured into the cones.
I got what has the Japanese not gotten a hold of, perfected, and then when everyone was like, "You did it," they went, "And now we'll begin." And you're like, "No, you fixed it. It was fixed. Do not break it." Like, no, we got to break this.
I still have some more questions.
Go ahead.
John Hastings is on America's Got Talent for 5 minutes, and now he's got houses in LA and London.
That's right.
Yeah.
You kept a house in London?
Yeah, I've kept a house in London.
Update: not sugar.
There's no fluid tasting enough to warrant sucking it out of him. No, but it was did he do it when he was then in the band when they were the 4 Bee Gees that brief time before then his heart exploded?
Wow.
I'm not saying anything that didn't happen. That is what happened to him.
I'm a predator.
And it was going awesome. And we even started having drinks at a bar, and we each had girlfriends with us, whatever. We're having a great time until I got comfortable enough to go, hey, we share a birthday,
As someone who's been eternally single.
Go ahead. Is it your fault? Yes. No, sorry. I'm so sorry.
Stop tweeting after your dates, Ashley. Stop tweeting after your dates.
Oh, bad news, Paul. You're getting a Batman bed.
This is not bad news. I am so pleased.
Support them.
But you know what's more important than helping people's mental health?
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Tom, you're a comedy fan.
Here's what happened. So I came up after she finished a couple times.
How did you
I'm not one's not enough.
What
you go for 2. That's how you start it out.
Smoother crunchy.
And then Jesus, boom. And so so when I emerged, I went to kiss her, and she just grabbed my face and she sucked it all out of my beard.
So hurtful.
That's a literary reference. Oh no, I gotta.
Hey, he can't tie me out now. I'm the only one here. Books, pages. Right. Verb, noun, adjective. Nice. Someone get me that.
I'm very prone to bullying.
No, you're talking about Andy Gibb.
I am talking about Andy Gibb. Pardon me.
Get your Gibbs straight if you want to come at me, bro.
Sorry.
Those nice bearded men and their Aryan friends seem like they're doing very different shows.
Marilynn's got pink eye. She touched her and all.
I tried to. It crawled away too quickly.
It's difficult with tea. Sometimes you try and tune it and you get Assam.
I'm officially declaring it. Jordan is the governor general of the stream.
God damn it, guys. I took Ritalin today. I can only focus on one thing at a time.
What is happening right now? 2 screens. I want to have 2 screens.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Paul and I were walking through the park, and we walked past the tennis courts. A ball had gone over the fence. Paul went down, grabbed it, threw it over, and the young woman who was playing said, "Thank you, sir."
Ouch.
Ouch.
Right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna fucking take over this fucking festival, and you're not gonna fucking stop me. Why? All these fucking robots all around the fucking city, right?
Yeah.
Don't knock a spit roast till you try it.
Just hang on. Can you just keep going? Make an appeal right now for us to stop this whole thing. Go ahead, Tom.
I think we should see Paul's face for this. There's going to be tears.
No, your junk in the trunk is not as prominent. Make the camera go lower now. Jesus. Now bounce your bottom, sir.
What are we doing?
Having a nice time. So let's watch
That's
it one
a
more
Batty
time.
Creases Jamaican for poop shoot.
So I'm on the toilet. The toilet paper's here. I grab some of the toilet paper. I stand up. I turn around.
Whoa!
Whoa!
No!
Frank, no.
A whole lot of the world can get it right round itself if I have a bomb on bed.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
What was Tom touching?
Whoa!
Go, man.
What happened?
Go, man.
The bed is what?
He did it.
Richard Ball, we're over. I want people to be saying, Michael, is that a beard? And I can say, no, shit residue from the kink I enjoy participating. I was moving into position.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Is anyone muted?
No, I don't think we are.
Oh, but we're down our guests, so who knows where they are? Oh my God, I summoned them. That was amazing.
Literally as you said it.
Hi, Abigoliah. That was amazing. I just said, I wonder where our guest is, and then you popped up.
Oh, wow. Well, I do my best.
You certainly do. How is everyone doing? I just had a big confrontation with my landlord, so I am on an ecstasy-like high.
Oh, did you, can we have details? Did I miss the details? What happened? Tell me everything.
Where'd you get that wine? That was amazing. I will tell you everything right now. I have bed bugs in my apartment. I'm currently not staying at my apartment. I'm at my Japanese friend's house, and I basically said to the building manager yesterday, I was like, you're reimbursing me for this most recent cleaning costs, and I'm not paying rent this month. And she was like, I don't know if we can do that. Anyway, turns out I have a friend who is in a legal field. Might be my Japanese friend. That might mean something different. We'll never know. And she looked up and basically was me having bed bugs and them not fixing it counts as constructive eviction, which they can't charge me for. And in the middle of the call, he was like, well, listen, pandemic, we need all the money we can get. And I was like, I paid my rent every month of the pandemic. This counts as constructive eviction. I'm not budging. This isn't a negotiation. This is what I'm going to need. I haven't told any of the other tenants. I haven't put it on social media. That's all I'm going to say. And then he was like, let me go talk to some people. I got to go figure some stuff out. And I'm like, understood. It was, but I literally I could tell my voice was confident, but then I took one of the I took a fiery shit immediately after. My guts were like,
yeah.
Oh, if only he knew you were so weak.
Yeah, your body is taking all of the stress.
I am so proud of you, though, for standing up to your landlord. First of all, I, knock on wood, have never had bed bugs, but I know people whose lives were ruined in New York because of bed bugs.
This is the thing is, do you know why New York and America has such a bed bug problem now?
No, do tell me.
New York specifically, but America in general and the world in general got too good at killing cockroaches. And the only predator of the bed bug is the cockroach.
No.
Is that what cockroaches are for?
Don't fuck with the ecosystem.
I need to just be clear. I've been told that by one guy. one guy told me this piece of information,
Okay.
and so it might not be true, but I choose to believe it's true.
And I believe it 110%. Absolutely.
You're giving it the extra 10%?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, but not for too long or too hard. Like that, that is second glass of wine. Perfect.
Oh.
Makes sense to me,
Thank you, the Sarah K, for subscribing 2 months
Thank
in
you
a
so
row.
much.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much, Sarah K. Muchly appreciated. Yeah, thank you so much. It's one of those things I'm working on in this year of I have a complex. I have catastrophe. I also have a complex that I'm like a wuss and I never stand up for myself, which don't worry, we're working on in therapy. But it's one of those actual things is movies and the perception of how a man is supposed to stand up for himself warps your brain, because we're literally taught like how you stand up for yourself is you kill his family. And you're like, but this doesn't warrant the murder of a family. This is just an administrative task. And it's like this whole thing of like all of that sort of culture is like, it's very douchey. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to be one of those people. And I also believe in passivity and everyone doing their job. But here's the problem, Ashley, you're younger than Abigoliah and I. You're not jaded of the world. Here's the thing that will disappoint you moving forward.
Okay.
Every year you become more and more aware how stupid adults are on average. And that is a heartbreaking revelation.
Yeah. I know I'm younger than you, but I do feel like I have a grasp of that already.
Yeah, it's true. Abigoliah, ask Ashley how she broke her jaw. Just ask her. Just ask her.
Ashley, first of all, is it broken right now? Is this a
No.
new thing? Okay. Ashley, how did you break your jaw?
Well, I was 11 years old. My jaw
Great.
had to be broken because it wasn't growing properly. And so I was given a brace across the top of my face, like jaw, internal jaw. So my top jaw, not my bottom jaw, had to be broken. And so this brace was put into the inside of my jaw. My mother had to put a key into my mouth, twist the key, and my whole skull cracked.
Did you have an underbite?
I had an underbite, yeah.
That's your follow-up question?
Yeah, John has been traumatized by this story.
I'm just trying to figure out like why a group of adults, a mother who would love their child unconditionally, and a series of educated doctors would be like, "Hey, let's abuse this 11-year-old." And
that's how you break a person's face.
Get loads of bullying in school. Did you have to wear like headgear? And
no, it wasn't. It wasn't anything external. It was just like a bar across the inside of my jaw, across the top of my gum.
So this wasn't like the doctor went in and broke it and opened it up.
No, I had it in for a year.
So your mother is going in there with a key and just every couple months just like twisting
for the first month, pushing it out each night, and then for the rest of the next year, it's like being held in place.
I feel like this is like a medieval torture device.
You're missing a detail. There's one
What's
detail
the
you're
detail?
missing, Ashley. This makes it even more horrifying. What did your mother know, Ashley?
My mother did not know my skull was going to crack. The orthodontist did, and she ate him for it, and he said, "If you had known, would you have been able to do it?"
So your mother was sent home with a key, and I assume there's a noise when it's turned. Is there a popping of your bones?
There's
it sounds very similar to a 8-year-old
from
screaming.
my head. Yeah.
And is this horribly painful?
I can't believe we're talking about this again. It's horribly painful.
and the doctor was like, you know what? Best not warn them in advance. Let's just traumatize both of them.
You would be amazed how much medical professionals do that. They won't tell you what's going to happen because they know they'll freak you out.
Listen, my dad was a doctor, and I'll tell you, they are sick fucks. They are incredibly damaged people. All and hashtag all doctors. I'm going to say all doctors, every single one of them
Abigoliah, if you want to make
huge-
blanket statements about a group of people, you are in the right place. I have
Yeah.
really called out some organizations
Oh yeah,
based
all
on
doctors.
experience with one guy. Yeah. Oh, and by the way,
Well, no, like
100% right.
I grew up like when I say my dad was because of the way life works when you grow up in a small town. I grew up around all the doctors. Like I know all of I grew up around all of them are alcoholics. They drink too much. They have horrible health practices themselves. Listen, growing up in the 90s, early 2000s in Greenville, Ohio, the least healthy person was my GP in the whole town. Just loved his cigars, loved his wine and his spirits. He had,
How old did he die at? Is he dead? I assume he's dead.
Still alive. He's still alive. He's had 2 or 3 heart surgeries by now.
Yeah.
He's retired now. Like,
Well, wouldn't he be?
I mean, his name, well, I won't say his name, but it's a good name. I wish I could. But he's one of those guys who I think his background's Italian, so he's just meant to like. He looked like a Don, like he wore gold rings on every finger. My
his
doctor
name
was from
Don,
The
or-
Sopranos.
Was
His first name was Emil. I'll tell you that much. Emil. And we called him by his first name. His name was Dr. Emil. He lived in my neighborhood. Yeah, doctors are horrible people. And to prove this point, when my dad was in medical school, they used to, in med school, you dissect a cadaver like a human body, and it's illegal to own human remains. And my dad always had growing up like the top of a skull cap. I haven't told this on this story, just the top, just this part. So not the face of the skull, just this part. And one time I asked him how he got it, and he was like, "Oh, I took it from the med school, the off the cadaver." And then he got real coy and he's like, "It wasn't a skull when I took it, because you're not allowed to take human remains out of the lab." So they snuck them out. And when they sneak them out, they're still covered in human stuff. So my dad took a human skull, he took vertebrae, he took a whole hand, and he put them in a pot to boil all the flesh off of them. And he tried to get the hand to like stand up straight and flip the bird. This was in med school, so boys will be boys. And that didn't work. By the time I came around, the vertebrae were lost to antiquity, but he used to use the human vertebrae as candle holders. And now I own the human skull. That's what I got when my dad died. I asked for the human skull.
Oh my God.
I'm never going to a doctor again. I'm never going to a doctor again.
They're weird people.
That's absolute insanity.
I want you to know, by the way, if you Google doctor email Greenville, Ohio, it asks you, did you mean Dr. Email Greenville, Ohio? And I clicked that, and then it asked, did you want Bill Maher, Greenville, Ohio? And I was like, we have really taken a weird turn.
Oh my days. That is
Steve
so
Mooney is
terrifying.
leaving, and I agree with him.
Yep.
Good to meet you, Steve.
Oh my.
Sorry about that.
Someone's gonna end up. That's a
I'm
collector's item.
There is, well, because
Wasn't
I
there?
had to take
There was
the
a.
bone out of my body and screw in screws and nails, and I think they then put it back. Like they were like, yeah, no, like we reach in and move stuff. Then your muscles being like this weird, and I was like, you move stuff?
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, well, I mean, when women have a C-section, they like take out your full intestines and then put
They
them
move
back
them to the
in.
side and put it back in. I wonder.
No, sometimes
what
they fully remove them,
Oh,
put them on the table, and then put them back in when they're done.
I am aware. I'm not going to get into the details, but I saw a photograph of someone's C-section like the baby was being lifted out, and it was just.
Nope.
It looked like a meat display.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Before we talk more.
awful.
Yeah. It's pretty awful.
So my dad was an eye surgeon, and I got to watch him do eye surgery a couple times.
John is out of here.
I won't. Okay, I won't explain what I saw.
Keep going, but I am reacting. No, keep going. We
Okay,
have to make
okay.
content. But be
Okay.
away. I'm gonna full throw up. Like it's
Okay.
like this.
So I've watched 2 eye surgeries in my life, 2 types. I've seen the blepharoplasty. No, I've seen so the 2 main surgeries that are given. Oh, I've seen LASIK, but that's nothing fancy. But I've gotten to fire the laser, but not in anyone's eye. But
Okay.
a blepharoplasty is like basically
Put
when
your
people
glasses
talk
back on.
about
Put your fucking glass. No.
So like as you age, fatty deposits build up here just above the eyelid.
Okay. Yeah.
And brow. And what happens is it starts to like droop your eyelids. So what they'll do is they'll it's basically a cosmetic surgery. They'll cut it open. They'll what's it called? Put the anesthetic needle there so it doesn't hurt. And then they'll push out the fat. And then they pull it out and they cut it. And then they take a cauterizer, which is like a little pin with.
We know what
like,
a
it looks
cauterizer
like
is. For the love of God,
cool.
we know what a cauterizer is.
Okay.
You monstrous woman. You devil.
And they
For those of you
they
listening
like
to the
stop
podcast, Abigoliah is making a Q-tip in the ear-like motion, but towards her upper eyelid.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm demoting. She's going from like good friend to friend. We had a very like mind-melting experience together. The bump through up to very good friends.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about. I don't know Abigoliah's comfort level with that. But because you just made me imagine the eyelid opening up like a envelope.
Yeah.
Do you know those little bags? Abigoliah might know this. You know when you used to buy weed in high school and it would come in those like little tiny bags, and the only way to like the tiny Ziploc bags, and the only way to open them is to rub them between your 2 fingers, and they would kind of go glit. That's what I'm picking. Is the eyelid is going like this.
Well, it's not the eyelid. It's the bit above the eyelid. But they like cut a little and then they push it out. Someone said like popping a zit. It's not that extreme, but yeah, they just kind of press on it and then the fat comes out.
Do you think
and then
that
they'll take some tweezers and pull the fat and cut it.
Do you think the doctor ever got fat under his fingernails?
Well,
he's wearing gloves.
He wore gloves.
But now I have that image.
What if the gloves got pierced mid-procedure?
Oh no, that'd be awful. Well, the patient is under anesthesia, but they're not completely under, they're slightly awake. So one time I was watching my dad do a cataract surgery, which we can explain if you need.
Please.
And the anesthesiologist, like there was kind of like a quiet moment, and this anesthesiologist was like, hey, has anyone seen any good movies? And the patient, who's completely covered up, besides having one eye just like pried open by one of those openy things so my dad could get to the inner part, she just goes, The Green Mile was really good. This is obviously when The Green Mile just came out. It shows my age. I was very, but
So
yeah.
I had septum surgery that didn't work, and it was a local anesthetic. And what it was is my septum was too strongly into my skull, and I was completely numb in the face. But I'm a redhead, so anesthesia wears off much quicker on me on a genetic level, and my pain threshold is much higher. And they basically had to burn through the tissue to get it to move so they could reset it. And the anesthesia wore off mid-tug. You've never known hell quite like feeling the tugging on your own skull by a doctor. And then also the surgery didn't work, and I was going in to have a meeting to scream at this guy and get it rescheduled for free, and COVID hit, and I haven't been able to do that since.
That's horrific.
But you don't know how weird it is to smell burning flesh and know it's your own body. Like to be like, that's me. Also, there was a screen right in my eye view, which was the inside of my skull. Like I could see all the blood, and they were like scraping, and I could feel it, but you don't have any pain.
I'm sorry, you thought my story was bad.
Like, you know what's the weird thing though, John, about burning flesh is?
Go ahead.
Have
your
you?
Stories were so actually. Go ahead.
Have you ever smelled burning flesh, Amanda?
Ashley.
Ashley, who's Amanda? Who is
I
Amanda?
understand where it came from
It's because her
my
Twitter
name
handle
is
is
A-Man.
man comedian. Her name's
Okay, that
Ashley
would be
Maniga. So
Ashley
That's
Maniga.
so funny.
I was just like, sorry about that, Ashley. I know
I just
your name
also
is
love the
fucking
I
Ashley.
love the casualness in which you said, isn't that right, Amanda?
You had so much confidence.
Oh.
I
Also, this
hate
is
myself.
the difference, but this is the
have
difference
you?
between Americans and British people is you just were like, yep, sorry, and you moved on. A British person would be looking for timber and a cross to erect, to crucify themselves in liberty of such a gaff.
What was the question? Have I ever
smelled burning flesh? Ashley Manning.
I don't think I have actually. I've smelled burning hair.
Okay. What I like, the thing is I've not smelled it very often, but I have smelled it. And once you do, it's like it hits your nose and you're like, oh, that's burning flesh. Like you just know immediately. Like, I don't know. Did you find that, John, when you had your when you could smell your own flesh? Were you like, yeah, that's definitely flesh? Like, I know what that is.
Yeah, like it was like a smell. Like I was like, I went, is that? And I went, yeah, that's my body. My body is burnt. Like it's such a weird sensation. And also you have to repress the like feeling to like, well, I should get out of here. Because your brain has got hardwiring of like, you run from that smell. Someone's cooking and eating people. You're a person. You're next. Let's stop talking about this subject before I bite off my own dick and eat it to feel something better than the thoughts I'm having right now. Abigoliah, your apartment looks very different than when I last was there. And when I was last there, I was allegedly in. Oh, that makes the most sense. What do you no longer live in the area you lived in? You lived in a different area now?
I live like a 20-minute walk from where I lived before. We just moved in the middle of the pandemic because we were like, if we stay in a 1-bedroom flat with no other room, we'll kill each other. So we moved to a slightly bigger place, and now we have an extra room that one of us can sit in and stew in when we're mad at the other one.
Is that what happens? Do you basically just built a stew room, basically? Just go sit in there and think about your thoughts for this argument.
Well, technically my office is in there, so that's Tom thinks I'm working, but really at the end of the day, I'm just scrolling Twitter and thinking like, ugh.
How long have you and Tom been together? Because I always think it's been like 2 years, but that's impossible because I was living in England when you guys started dating, and that was almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, so 7 years.
Shit.
I met Tom, like I basically came here mid-July, dropped my stuff off, went to the Edinburgh Fringe, came back in September, 2 weeks later found the flat that you have been in, and met Tom that night, and we've been together ever since. So like I basically shagged my way through New York and showed up in London and was like, I'm gonna get myself one of those long-term boyfriends, and I nailed it right away.
I remember in Australia we were going through New York-based human beings, and you were putting them into 2 columns, which I will laugh at to this day. It was just the way you were doing it was so like flippant of just like, oh yeah, hit. It was do you remember we were in the like it was that
I have
same
no
night.
memory of that, but it sounds like something I do. It is.
If I now am honest, I remember here is where we were. We had just come back. Do you remember when we came back from the Molly Duker Estates in Adelaide, Australia? It was
my
at
God.
that conversation when I drank. Ashley, this is how drunk I was.
That was
I
a
picked up
time,
beer.
according to
I
Abigoliah's
picked up a beer.
reaction.
This is how I drank it. I thought my face was right here. I was so drunk that I just literally poured a beer on my lap, put it on the table, and then just, can I have another beer? And then brought me another. We should
Brought you
explain.
another beer after that.
Yeah, we party. Okay.
So I have no. Okay, I remember coming back.
Let's set the stage for what we did. So
okay.
Abigoliah and I, the last time I was in, second to the last time I was in Australia in 2018 when I was living on the road, and I did the Adelaide Fringe Festival. Abigoliah was doing Best of the Edinburgh Fest, and we were sharing a producer, so we were staying in the same hotel. Yes. One of the perks is comedian Jimmy McGee always loves a wine tour, so he was like, let's all go on a group wine tour. Producer very nicely paid for everything. Jimmy and another comedian who has 2 names and 1 initial and might be famous, stayed up really late getting hammered drunk. Thank you, Kimmersby. It finally came through. Thank you, Kimmersby. Your subscription finally came through. Thank you for subscribing to the Troggies. They stayed up very late getting drunk. So I woke up. We had to get up at 8 a.m. We were delayed leaving to go on the wine tour. Do you remember why, Abigoliah?
Because you found Jimmy, I think, in a pile in your apartment, and you had to pour
Yes.
water on him to wake him up. And
Yeah.
by the way, all Jimmy was looking forward to this entire time we were in Australia was the wine tour. He
Yeah.
was so excited, and then he nearly, like, you could hardly drag him out of
We could
the
hardly
flat,
bring him out.
right?
I had to go get Stephen K. Amos to come with me because Stephen K. Amos hung over, but it was like, I'm ready to go. He has to come. Stephen K. Amos went to room service. We got a bunch of pitchers of ice water, dumped them on him. He yelled at us. We yelled at him. He got into the van in the same clothes, legend alert, fell asleep on the back seat. We then drive an hour and a half to a winery to go on a wine tour. And then what happened, Abigoliah? Then what happened?
We got so hammered at the wine tour because it turns out that if your fancy producer pays for it all and you just wave your glass around, they'll refill it whether you've tasted it or not.
And
go
for some
ahead.
reason, their chef was different. So usually what they do at the end of the wine tour is you get like the biggest, starchiest meal. Because I've done these tours before, and it's like slabs of meat and pasta. And like basically they're like, we need to sober you up before you leave the property. That day, because it was so hot or something, they only served salads. I was a vegan at the time. So the only thing we could eat was like unseasoned kale and spinach salad with tomato, nothing else. And then I smoked mad weed, and we got high, and I was not smoking at the time. So I was literally like, I at that time hadn't learned how to drink without smoking. So this is what I was literally doing. Another. And we were, oh my God.
It was, and then we went back to see. This is where I think I probably told you all of my little New York sextapades, because I remember getting back to the hotel. We got in trouble with our bus driver because we spilt wine all over the place.
Not we. The fiance of a
another
very
famous
comedian in Australia spilled a bunch of wine. And I
Yeah.
was very drunk, and I remember getting off the bus and was like, someone's going to need to do something about this. And I loudly went, someone is not me. Someone who is responsible should do something about this. And then I and Jimmy walked into the hotel and started ordering cocktails. And I remember because I got I was like, I need some food and I need some drink. And then
See, you're smart, because what I did, I think, this is where I get hazy, is I assume I told you everyone I've slept with. And then I decided it would be a very good idea to go into town and leave the safety of the hotel to allegedly buy some weed. I may have allegedly saw some friends at the bar that I was picking up, and I have no memory past that.
So here's
No
what's
memory
even
past
crazier.
that.
So we get back. This is how I remember this. So we get back. We're sitting outside. I go to take a call from my, at the time, girlfriend, later wife, now ex-wife. I take a call. I evidently talked to her in the middle of the conversation. I just went, you can keep talking, but you need to know I blacked out about 5 minutes ago. And she went, what? And I was like, I'm in a full blackout. I don't remember any of this. It's like, you should go to bed. And I was like, yeah, whatever you say. And then I hung up the phone, woke up hours later, just diagonal on my bed. Jimmy and someone else came back and were needing
Having
the
a time.
apartment, needing the flat, shall we say. So I leave, go back down. When I got back down, it's nighttime. That's when you left to go get, because I remember I came back and you went, since John's back, I'm going to go purchase some stuff. And then you left, and then I sat down. And here's the craziest part. Our producer, Mary Tobin, had been drinking as much as anyone. Fine. She was totally fine. It was
She's a legend.
like, I came down, she's like, John, where have you been? And I was like, I've been asleep for 3 hours. And she's like, do you need anything? I was like, I would like a beer and a hamburger. And that's when I stopped being vegan and I got a beer, and it felt so good. And then I wandered the streets for 2 hours eating, and I ate 2 ice cream sandwiches and sat on a bench and was like, I think I should start smoking again. And then went back and got have you ever been falling asleep knowing you'll wake up with a hangover and you start getting hungover as you're falling asleep? That's what happened to this guy.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
no, I met some friends at a bar, and they were like, I was like, I just came back from the wine tour, and they're like, you're hammered, and I was like, yes, I am, and I was like, I'll have a drink with you guys, and then I'm gonna go back to the hotel and hang out with the cast and whatnot, and then I remember waking up. And I called my friend the next day, and we went out to eat like in, like late afternoon to get like a burger or something. And we're in a pub, and I was like, this place is lovely. This is and she was like, we were in here last night for 5 hours. And I was like, no idea. No memory of this place
shit.
whatsoever.
Yeah. They've never gone on a wine tour again since. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I feel like that's the right thing to do.
That's a sensible choice.
I mean, because the last time we went on a wine tour, I almost got us kicked out of the hotel because I was smoking weed. I mean, allegedly, myself and the producer of Late and Live. So the last time we did it, we went on the wine tour, and midway we got back, and someone who may or may not have been Carl Donnelly decided we were going to have Bloody Marys in the hot tub. So we got back, made Bloody Marys, and then I was so drunk, I turned to the person who used to produce Late and Live and was like, I got a bunch of weed in my freezer. Do you want to get super baked by the fountain? And she was like, yes, I do. So then I rolled a big bone. No, she did. She's very good at rolling joints. We stood by the fountain. We're getting super baked. This really nice woman walks up and went, I just saw your show 2 nights ago. You were so funny. Thank you so much. And I tell you all that because I own this hotel. And if you ever smoke weed in my courtyard again, I'm kicking everyone out, but we'll let it go this time. And I went, I don't really remember this, but apparently I just went, that's reasonable. That's very reasonable.
I'll just finish this.
Yep, you're totally fine.
Because did you go back to Australia after the year that you and I went together? Because I haven't been back since. And are we still in the same hotel? Because I feel like
we absolutely are, because of someone else's behavior at that hotel has always been crazy. Like there's one comedian that's been brought back a lot, and like things like pissed on a hotel room door, somehow shit on the rim of his toilet. You do not get to know audience,
private
but I
chat
can,
wise.
yeah. Oh,
yeah. That's what I meant.
Oh, of course. Is it private chat? Yes, it is. There we go.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, like, I have never done this because I feel that's a rule I shouldn't break. Anyway, yeah, we're bulletproof at that hotel, and it's also like that time we were bulletproof because that staff member said all that crazy stuff to like 2 super famous comedians that were staying there. Do you remember that?
I wrote a strongly worded email afterwards and sent it to Mary to send because I was so pissed. And then that staff person said some really shitty stuff to some very famous people who we were with, like really not like racist stuff.
like racist stuff and other stuff, and it was like whoa, and we were all trying to be very cool about it.
Yeah.
And then they walked away, and then they tried to have a threesome with the radio DJ. I'm saying this guy's name, radio DJ Greg Burns, and Greg Burns was like, actually no, I'm just going to finish my wine. And then that same staff member called my hotel room where myself and Jimmy McGee were. She first propositioned Jimmy, and he went, absolutely not. And then she apparently went, well, what about the Canadian? And he was like this on the phone, and I was stood next to him, and I was just like, I was so angry looking, and he went, yes, he's not pleased with you either. And then just hung up the phone.
Yeah. And she got naked in the hot tub with the other comic who was on the tour with us that drove everyone nuts. And he swore it didn't happen. He was like, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I was naked. And Greg was like, yes, he was, because I was fucking there. Like,
that was
she skinny dipped in the hot tub with me. And I'm not saying his name just because I don't like him very much, and I might throw some shade otherwise.
It was this guy, right?
Are you typing it in the private chat?
Of course.
Oh no, it wasn't him. I get along with him really well.
Oh, it was this guy. Yeah, I forgot he was there.
If it had been If it was, I will say this. So John thought it was an Irish comic named Danny O'Brien, who was my flatmate while we were there. And may I say, I did not know Danny O'Brien very well before we went to Australia. Best flatmate I've ever had.
He's the reason why I guess
festival.
he's a great guy, but he's
Yeah.
a bit of a how you say shagger.
Okay, here's what you need to know about Danny O'Brien as a shagger. First of all, he does not kiss and tell. I like the next morning.
Hard disagree. Hard disagree.
Okay, fine.
He
fine.
doesn't kiss and tell you, but like
Okay.
Like,
Okay,
I remember
I'll
once
get that.
being like, I had to say to him once, I'm like, I'm having breakfast. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those ones where it's like, listen, I enjoy a story as much as the next gal, but you got to give me 5 minutes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really shitty. Wait, are we
Yeah.
talking? Oh God, I'm sorry. Sorry, we're
No,
we're just in a group chat. We've got to stop it. But I will say, what was nice?
Dude, let me
They are
guess. The
used
chat
to the
is literally
private
just
chat.
yeah.
The
chat
chat is going
literally trying
insane, but they're used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say this about Danny O'Brien as a flatmate during a festival, because he would have ladies to the flat. I rarely saw them. They retreated very quickly. And the next morning I would wake up and I'd just be lying in bed and I could hear Danny be like, yeah, it was nice to meet you. Okay, yeah, you know, bye. Click. And the door would shut and the lady would leave. And then I'd hear a knock on my door and he'd be like, hey, you want some breakfast? And he would make me a full spread every
I was so
morning.
jealous of that.
Like I have never been so taken care of in my life, like by another comic who is as self-absorbed as me. Like I was not waking up and making him breakfast, but he made
more self-absorbed.
He cooked for me every day. And one day I wouldn't leave my room, like just because I was feeling shitty. Like I was, like I was on my period. I was homesick. I was hungover, everything. And like I got a knock on my door at like 6. I think the show was at 8. And he's like, hey, I think you should eat something. He's very much like a grandmother. And I was like, I'm fine. I'll get some on the way to my show. It's fine. He's like, I'm gonna make you a sandwich. And I like kind of come out and he's got a sandwich and a smoothie for me. He's like, here, this will sort you out. He was a great roommate. He was
I gotta
a great
tell you,
roommate.
I'm totally because there was another comedian on that tour that we were all kind of like, this guy's not our kind of guy. And he claimed he had brought his girlfriend out to Australia. They broke up while there. And then he kept claiming more exaggerated sexual conquests, including saying in front of our producer, who's it's one of those things. Our producer is great. Her name is Mary Tobin. She's done so much for me personally in my career. I think she's fantastic, but it's one of those things where Mary is a bit old school in that she is aware chicanery is going on, but she kind of wants it to be that sort of thing of like, you don't discuss those sort of things with the family. You know what I mean? Like she finds it very funny if you turn up the next day and like Abigoliah and I are super hungover going to our shows. And then Mary sort of swings in with a glass. Oh, having a little too much fun at the festival. But if you're like at the festival club with her and her daughters and you're having drinks because she is backing you financially, you don't leave to go shag someone in the toilets. And you, more importantly, don't lie about it and then put one of the biggest find out rats on the case of figuring out if you're lying or not, who is me and myself and a other gentleman who is maybe Jimmy McGee launched a full and tireless investigation into that manner, and we determined liar pants on fire very quickly.
He lied about everything. Like it would, because I am, first of all, if I find out that you've like been telling me stories to make yourself look greater than you are, I will immediately X you as a friend because I am so gullible. Like if you say something, I just believe you. There's no why wouldn't you go shag some people in the toilet? Sure, live your life, fine. We've all done it, whatever. And then I find out he's lying, and I'm like, I can't. And then when I got back to London, it kind of clicked with me how much he was lying to us, like about the sexual conquest, about like his own career. Like it was just bizarre. And it
Let
was
me
all
tell
stuff
ya.
that you could easily find out. And I'm like, now whenever I see him, it gives me the creeps. I'm like, I can't be around you.
Here's a weird
You
thing.
would lie
Actually,
to my face.
Actually, you're in many ways is like the literal opposite of this guy. Is that all of your stories like you could big yourself up and you're like, this is, sometimes your mom just breaks your jaw. Like you're just like, good God. Like, yeah, you're the anti that guy. Oh, I almost said his name. Oh boy. Yeah.
Is he
oh my
even
God.
doing comedy anymore?
Oh, I don't
Well,
know. He's
you wouldn't know.
probably-
You're over there. Never mind.
Yeah,
You're in America. How would you know?
I know it's very funny because people still forget that I live in the UK because I didn't really tell anyone on purpose. Like it took it basically took until COVID where they were like, wait, where are you? And I'd be like, I'm in America. I've lived here for years. And they're like, how about? And I was like, yeah, that's right. But it's so funny, like that guy and sort of his ilk. It's such an interesting thing because I don't think that their bullshit's going to work anymore. Like it's one of those things where a lot of people, especially in Britain, just blagged their way into bigger and bigger stuff, and it just doesn't work anymore because there's just less opportunity. So less are people going to be like, yeah, that's fine. And they're like, wait, actually, no, you're a douche. Like, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's less tolerances for that sort of thing, I guess.
Yes, Abigoliah, I miss your old place because your old place, I'll never forget, accidentally
Yes.
peeing on your floor when I may or may not have taken acid and gone to a
Oh, I
comedy
forgot about you
industry
pissing
event.
all over the place. I was so pissed.
Who cleaned up? But who cleaned up? I cleaned it the whole time. I remember you were like, you pissed
did.
on my floor, and then I was like,
Cleaning
I'll go
up
clean
your
your
own
bathroom.
piss from somebody's floor is not. Oh, that's
First
not
of all,
a win.
first
That's
of
not
all,
something
first
you.
of all, yes,
that's
it
not a
is.
redeem.
For
No
other reason that not most
no,
people
no,
will do
no.
it. Not
You
most people will
pissed
do
there
it.
in the first place,
And I
therefore
was
it
not
negates
sober.
the good
I
deed
was
afterwards.
not sober. Not sober. I thought
Yeah.
I was using the toilet. I was
No.
very inebriated.
It's not a good person.
Yes, it is.
Thank
It is.
Thank you, John. It's
Sober
all
to
coming back
sober.
to me now.
Sober to sober. 100%. You're correct. The state I was in, the idea that I
Yes,
even
thank you,
was
Kimmers.
able.
Just common decency.
Nope, you're all
You're
wrong.
nothing special.
Kimmers,
The bar is so
He
low for men.
pissed all over the place. It was like a
And who cleaned it
3-year-old
up?
who just
And
learned
who
he
cleaned
could
it up?
stand.
No.
Cleaning it
You
up
tried
does
to
not
clean it
negate
up,
that
but
you
you
did
were
it.
drunk, so you did a swish.
I did a swish, and then
threw
you
it
said
down the
come, and
toilet.
then you said come back, and you're like, no, you got to do a better job. And then I literally
No.
got in there.
John,
That's
you're
absolutely
not
what
coming
happened.
out of this as a good person. You still pissed
I
on
don't
her floor.
He
You-
did, like, allegedly.
You actually, yeah, allegedly, I had 1 million beers and took a shitload of acid, and then was very close to Clive Anderson. So how about you get right off of my goddamn ass about the situation? You guys are all lucky I didn't take a shit somewhere. I was so freaked out.
I'm
You know what I'm
just saying,
saying?
we're not going to celebrate you cleaning up your own
I
piss.
think it should be
You're
celebrated.
not getting a medal for that.
I think I should because you
No.
don't. You're not taking in the but what you're basically you're doing. You're saying to a legless man. You're saying it's not impressive. You ran a marathon. That's what you are. You're ableist. How do you like that? How do you like them
That is
apples?
so far removed from what I'm saying.
Tom and I always had already lived together at that point. But he was gone for that weekend for some reason, which is surprising because
No, it was not a weekend. It was a Tuesday.
Oh yeah, of course it was because it was the Chortle Awards. So I had
was it?
never allegedly done acid before, and my
Neither
kind
have I.
friends hooked me up, and so we got back to my place to I think just hang out and have some more beers and whatever, and like I took the duvet and all the blankets and we threw them on the floor and we all just laid on the floor
Holding
and
hands.
like holding hands, listening to music. And then eventually one of you like just kind of stood up bolt right and was like, I have to leave right now. And you all just like laughed. And then I was like, this is weird because now I'm by myself and it's very quiet. And then I went to bed and woke up to a barrage of text messages from various comedians going,
'Cause we
my bag is in your house.
all
My
left everything.
notebook is in your house. My phone is in your house. They all just walked out, wallets, like, and every single one of them. And like there were like 3 or 4 of us there. Like I'm making it sound like there's 20. But also, like, I just left all of the stuff in the living room. So Tom eventually comes home. He's like, why are all the blankets on the floor? And I'm like, oh, me and like 3 or 4 other comedians came over and we allegedly did some acid and had a load of beers. And then we all laid on our floor and listened to music. And my boyfriend's like, I'm not going to ask questions. I believe that that's what happened. And I was like, I think you're going to stay forever.
Mhm. It was so nice. I
He was just like, you live your life. You just don't do
Oh.
that around me. And I was like, thanks, Tom. Thanks for letting me be me.
I will never remember the amount of fear I had when I walked allegedly into Up the Creek Comedy Club, and it dawned on me that I had just taken acid and then gone to a work event. Like, it was one of those things where it was like, oh, we're at a bar. This is very fun. I'm with a ton of friends. We've gotten everyone's. It's such a jovial atmosphere. We took a van that was hired by a television production company to get someone from the pub we were at to the Chortle Award. It was
because they were presenting.
They were presenting, and that person, by the way, kicked the door open and screamed, "I'm on acid," which not helpful. Not helpful to me at all. Abigoliah, by the way, I don't. Because you took it at the awards, allegedly, supposedly, right? Because you took
I took some in the cab ride over.
That's what it was, yeah.
And then I found some on my floor when I was cleaning up.
Oh my God. All I remember is someone who has really fallen off because of certain behaviors. Like, what the person did was reprehensible. Absolutely. But if it were not for their existence, I think I would have fought Clive Anderson, because this person walked up to me and went, "Are you all right?" And I explained the situation, and he went, "Okay, I'm going to stand next to you. If we just get you drunk, everyone will think you're drunk." And I was like, that is a good idea. So that person, and at one point, I'll never forget this, I turned to them and just went, "Clive Anderson has been talking for about half an hour. Someone needs to tell him to shut the fuck up." And that person went, "He has been on stage for about 5 seconds. You should not say anything. That was very loud." And I went, "You got it."
Oh, no. So was that your first time allegedly doing acid as well?
Of course. Yeah.
I thought I was the only one who I had a
No.
lovely time.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
I was not freaking out about it at all. I remember at one point during the award ceremony turning to you and asking a question about a timeline of a certain award, and you just you looked down at me and you were like, "Shut up," and looked straight back up, and I was like, I don't think John's having a good time right now.
I was, but it was one of those things where I was like,
didn't this gig happen last year? And you were like, "Don't talk to me." I was like, wow.
No. I remember what it was, which was I was just trying, because what also happened was it was literally like comedians on one side of the room, me, all of the industry on the other side of the room, and I was right here. Like, I literally just signed with my agency that I'm with now, and they are like right there. Like, I was next to the Off the Curb guys who all really like me, and so I'm talking with all of them, and then people are like talking to me, and I'm just trying not to speak because I have no idea what I am saying. Like, I literally just like, I was just like, I'm fine, but I'm like concerned. They're like, "So John, how are things going with the career?" I was like, my whole face is fire. Like, I was just like, I like just don't engage.
And I am just like waving around.
It was so
I had
funny.
no idea that there was any industry there. I was just like, this is weird and fun, and what a great time we're having.
And then I just remember we were upstairs, and Tez Ilyas and Kay Kurd started making fun of me for being fucked up at a party, and I just was like, "What the fuck? What? Like, why are you guys being such dicks?" And then they were like, I don't know, people make embarrassments of themselves. And then one of them tried to dance, knocked into me, and then spilt my entire beer, and it was so satisfying. It was so satisfying. And what is that saying to that? That counts. You should have a medal too. Oh, thank you. I have 2 and tricked badly both times. Oh no. But yeah, all in all, a wonderful experience. Such a fun time, and we didn't get in any trouble. Didn't get in any trouble whatsoever. And I remember Television's own Joel Dommett said, "Why are you smiling so mischievously, John?" And I went, "I'm on acid, Joel." And he went, "Really?"
That's the best, is when you're super high and someone's like, "What's up with you? You seem happy." And you're like, "I'm out of my mind." And they're like, "You just seem so lovely." And you're like, I can always get away with it, but you can't. Sometimes you just make an ass of yourself.
Here's the thing with me is I don't think I'll ever be famous, but I do know famous people like think about me sometimes. Like, I know Joel Dommett, if you give him 20 minutes, it's like, wonder if John's still on acid. That's all I need. That's all I need right there.
Yeah, that is a good level of fame.
Ashley, what drug would you take to go? Would you take acid and go to the Chortle Awards with me? I'll take it with you.
I don't know. That feels like I'm jumping in at the deep end. Abigoliah, for context, I have never done any drugs. I've never even tried
All right, let's
weed.
go through. Let's try.
Okay,
Let's go through
have you
comedy.
been drunk?
I've been
Great
drunk.
question.
I drink.
She's drunk
but-
right now.
Okay. Okay, good.
All right, let's go through. How about this? So you think you're funny, but we do a Jedi flip, which is pound for pound equal measures of MDMA and magic mushrooms at the same time. What about that?
That's too much. You need to be
That's so
outside. You need to be
much.
in somewhere where you can pet grass. You can't
That's a good
start
point. That's a really good point.
You
I feel
cannot
like that's
really good
really throwing me in at the deep
You
end.
need to like be somewhere where you can hug someone for a long time, and that's not it. So you think you're funny. You cannot just
I
get
disagree.
lost
There's
in
a
the
lot.
safe
There's a
embrace of
first of
John's
all, there is
arms.
a lot of hugging and much more happening at the So You Think You're Funny party. I'll have you know.
That's true. That's true.
I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
saw someone who was on television. Either this is how mysterious I'm going to make it. Either doing the old or having the old
Kansas
done
City
to them.
Royale.
That's
Yeah.
right. On the dance floor, no less. On the dance floor. While Troy Conrad of Setlist just ate a full sandwich and talked to me while I was like, man, I'm trying to figure out if something else really fucking funny is happening. And he like literally kept being like, well, what's happening? And I was like,
Thank you.
"Would
The
be
chat
cool?"
is trying to protect me, and I appreciate it.
No, you have to.
ADSR Thug, what are you talking about starting with edibles? You don't start with edibles. If you're going to start with yes, meatballs being very, very rude, as it is troubling if you have a giant ego, hence John massively affected. Ashley would take it in stride. I'm going to say this. I don't think she would. I think Ashley would, like we all do, have a bit of a freak out and then just need to chill a little
I
bit.
freak
possibly have
out
some fruit
with
juice.
no drugs, so
Yeah,
you
but I'm
know.
a high strung person without drugs. I think that's why I like drugs, because then I go into like, who
Okay.
the fuck cares mode.
Yeah, that's true. There is a sort of a little like she ready kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just sort of like, well, whatever is going to happen is going to happen.
And you
know,
just
man.
feel like, well, it depends what you're on and what you're doing. But like with MDMA, it's just like, hey man, everything's like really beautiful. And you know what I mean? Like you're a human and I'm a human. So like you
Yeah.
just want to like stroke each other's faces for
I
a while.
have-
Like that's nice.
MDMA is the one that I have been leaning towards taking.
All right. That's not exactly starting at the beginning.
No, but I just from the things that I have read and been told,
A wonderful time.
yeah, it might be the one that suits me.
I would suggest you get a lot of tropical fruits in the house and you prepare yourself a nice fruit salad. Also, just going to be honest with you, you're going to have a full cry in the shower. That's just how life works. And you know what? The worst thing you can do is not embrace it. Yeah. I remember a friend of mine who might be me, one time stayed up till 11 o'clock in the morning with his at the time girlfriend. We used a salad bowl as an ashtray and I threw out the salad bowl afterwards because it was so filled with cigarettes. And I remember I cried so long in the shower that I used up all the hot water and also ran out of tears. Didn't know that could happen. But I tell you, I felt so much
Oh.
better afterwards. So much better.
Oh, maybe not.
The
Mm.
day after is kind of nice because you still feel a little floaty, and I suggest
True.
you eat a nice meal because food tastes better the day afterwards. But you're sober
Supposedly.
enough to taste how nice it tastes. But the day after that,
Not good.
you clear your schedule. You
Yeah.
clear your schedule. So you can
It's
have
also
a
if you're
cry in the
taking
shoulder.
if you're taking any SSRIs, this is a fun PSA. If you're taking any SSRIs, don't take any of these things because they'll all be blocked by your SSRI. So you're just basically just taking a drug for no reason. Like it's just gonna not work. Which
I didn't
only,
know that.
I only found it out
It makes
recently
sense.
because I had drinks with a friend and I was like, how are you doing? And they said, I'm really sad. And I went, why? And they said, I can't take my depression medication for the week. I'm taking mushrooms on Saturday and I want them to work. And I went, is it really worth it? And they went,
That's so
yes.
dangerous. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Another public service announcement. You never go cold turkey off your depression medication because it will make you go suicidal.
Oh,
Yeah, very
Abigoliah,
bad.
live a little. You know what I mean?
Just enjoy the mushrooms.
Yeah. Let me tell you you know what spices up a week? A little suicidal ideation. A little.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to sleep forever? You know what I'm saying? Just
just
holding a bunch of pills in your hand and thinking about if you were stronger, you would take them. But if you were also stronger, you probably wouldn't be you know what I'm saying?
You just described my whole lockdown and what a winning time that was.
I never got depressed. I can't tell you up until like when the divorce started and stuff like that, but like the first chunk, like basically March until the police started attacking people in end of May, I had a festival. I just played video games all day. I did some writing. I worked out. That's it. My hours were insane. I remember there was a day where I went to bed at 7:30 in the morning and I felt phenomenal. I woke up at 3 p.m. It was so good. And also I lost a bunch of weight because I kept sleeping during really hard parts of the day with a big cover, like a blanket on me. And so I just sweat a lot.
Your weight away.
Yeah, it was really good.
Amazing.
Yeah. And in no way was I not addressing other things.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it was completely happy in a festival and it wasn't,
It
you weren't
certainly
covering
was.
up for anything. Yeah.
Certainly wasn't.
I,
And I'll hear I'll hear nothing else. I won't.
No, it sounds completely.
Yeah, everyone smokes 2
natural
packs of
instinct.
cigarettes a day. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
I recently got diagnosed with ADHD. Bragging.
Congratulations.
And I haven't gotten on the drugs yet because it's a whole rigmarole where I have to have appointments and they don't just hand me them. But I really want them. And my doctor was like, do you do drugs? And I was like, yeah, I've done some drugs, but I haven't done anything because obviously I wouldn't do party drugs during the pandemic by myself because that's a bit sad. And he was like, you can't do any of these drugs once you're on ADHD medication because we're trying to level out your dopamine levels and it's going to affect it. So once you're on it, like no more. I was like, fair enough. And then I wound up in Glasgow and I met up with a friend who is one of my, you know how you have just friends you party with? Ashley, you know how that is. You know how that is.
Yeah.
And I did send him a message. I was like, I'm coming to town. It'd be nice to grab drinks. Just so you know, I don't really want to do anything else. And then I got there and I realized that that would be the last time that I would have an opportunity to allegedly do other substances before going on medication. Oh my God. Yeah, we just, it wasn't even like, we didn't even go out and go dancing. We just allegedly did a load of sniffy things and then sat in his apartment and talked shit about comedians until like 8 in the morning. And then I was like, I have to go to my hotel. I have a show tonight. And then I just
How was
sat
that
and
sleep?
rocked back.
How was that
Oh, what sleep? I just
Actually,
rocked
you've not
back
lived
and
until
forth.
you spend 8 hours thinking about how you need to go to sleep, only to wake up, only to get out of bed at 5 p.m. A kind of sweaty that is not good. Like you're like, oh, none of this is sweat. Like this is this vodka, soul juice, spinal fluid. And then you take a really gross shower, go to a show, and basically have to will yourself to be a comedian.
Yeah. Yeah. It was actually perfect because like I had a lovely chat, I had a lovely evening, and then the come down was so abhorrent and by myself in an ibis that I was just like, I think I'm ready not to do this anymore. I think I'm okay.
And that ibis, I have stayed there. If I wanted to commit suicide, I'll do it there because nothing there is going to prevent me from, like, nothing will bring me hope.
You know what? Everyone shits on the Ibis, but say what you want. It has the best makeup mirror of any 3-star hotel in Britain. It is the best place to do makeup.
How does
the
that affect
Jury's
me?
Inn is too dark. There is no lighting in the Pinta Hotel in Birmingham. It is all about the Ibis if you want to have good makeup for a show.
If you ever speak bad
I
against the
appreciate
Pinta
that
Hotel
so
in
well.
Birmingham again, Abigoliah, you walk on the other side of the street from me.
Oh,
that hotel.
You weren't there.
Rocks.
You weren't there the last time I was there. I was there a couple weeks ago.
Bring it
They're under construction. So the whole place is covered in that white construction paper that, you know, when they cover
Yeah.
the buildings with the white stuff that like burned down Grenfell, the whole thing is covered and you can't see out the windows.
Oh,
It is
fuck
a
that.
weird hellscape. Yeah.
Is
And-
the breakfast still exceptional?
Okay, yeah, it's a great breakfast and a 24-hour bar. And for
24-hour
some
bar.
reason, the whole
Pool
hotel
table.
smells like Axe body spray.
It does,
but-
and also they have that pool table in the lobby, which by the way makes it from like let's go out into Birmingham to let's go back to the hotel and play pool. So fun. I ended up drinking with the Bam Margera's brother and Lloyd Langford and I and the members of the band CKY all just kept having beers, and Lloyd Langford got so angry at me because I'm dyspraxic, which means I'm the worst pool player of all time. Now
Yeah, I
made
can't
even worse because I have a permanently hobbled shoulder from my bike accident. So I cannot wait to go back and show everyone how much worse at pool I've gotten. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great time.
I've never been out in Birmingham. I've only been to the Glee Club and the Pinta Hotel. I've just
Why
walked between the two. I've never gone out to a
go
bar in
out?
Birmingham.
I have. It sucks. Birmingham, and I mean this. If anyone is listening from the town of Birmingham, move. Go anywhere.
Joe says it's a good night out.
Is it, Joe? Is it? Is it? Birmingham is rough. Thank you, Andy.
But
Chill.
then he said I did move.
That's what I thought. I know where you live, brother. And I knew I didn't think you were a Brummie. I knew it was Midlands. I weirdly thought, is it the Black Forest that's right there? Is that what it's called? The Dark Forest? Blackwood? Anyway, phenomenal stuff. How is stand-up going in Britain, you two? What are the vibe of the gigs? What is it like?
Ashley, you go first. You talk about the North, I'll talk about the South.
Christ. I mean, I feel like it's actually picking up a little bit around here. There's a few new gigs opened up in the past 2 weeks in Scotland.
You guys are still on social distancing and restrictions up there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we still have a few restrictions compared to England. But yeah, so there's a few new places have opened up and I believe they've done quite well. I've only gigged in Monkey Barrel so far, so you know, I'm still sort of getting back out there, but oh no, that's a lie. I did Drygate last week and that was great. Really, really good in Glasgow.
Ah, yes, you were attempting to make it Wetgate. It did not happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Here's my question. So in England, does that mean like you don't have to wear a mask walking around? Like
there's
you
no
just
restrictions.
A lot of people still do. Like, well, not a lot, maybe like a third.
If
You'll
I'm
go
going
into
into
a
the
shop.
tube,
Yeah.
mask in the tube?
You don't have to. A lot of people aren't. I always do. There's always like, there's some people with masks, some people without. Most people are not wearing masks, but you don't
This
have
is
to.
madness. No masks in the tube?
I always wear a mask in the tube.
Like
Safety
if anything, the smell. Like the amount of people I've seen just shitting down there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I feel like masks are now a part of my life. Like, now I'm like,
Yeah.
why didn't I always wear a mask on the tube? The
Yeah.
only thing that bugs me about wearing a mask on a train is if I have a gig where I'm going there and back in one night, I usually do my makeup at home. And now I don't like doing that because I don't like putting on like full beat and then walking out and wearing a mask for 2.5 hours as I make my way to
Yeah, it's
you know,
messy.
Portsmouth or wherever
Colchester?
I'm going.
Yes.
Yeah, Colchester.
I
But
love
yeah,
that
yeah.
I may never go to Colchester again. Oh, I love. Oh,
It's- It's fine here. Like the travel, I find a lot more anxiety ridden than I ever did before. And like, I actually said no to some gigs in December because I was like, that's a shitty travel plan for me. And it's already expensive for me to buy the tickets. And it's October and it's with a club I work with a lot. And I was just like, I'm not doing it. And they were like, well, what if we put this gig with it and you do this gig and that gig? And I was like, that's too much money in train. That'll cost me half a night's pay in train travel alone. And the trains, every train will be 3 hours in at least 1 or 2 connections. I'm not doing that on December 18th. I'm not doing that to
It's going to be
myself.
so interesting because the economics of comedy have really like here flights are remarkably cheaper still. So it's
Okay.
actually easy. Like you're making more like I was taking some gigs pre-pandemic where it was like I will break even on this because it's like I have to fly and I guess I'll take a shuttle to somewhere in the city and walk to my accommodation just so I can like, all right, I made $80 and now airplane travel is so cheap here right now. Like it's not like at the height of the pandemic, I bought a first class, like the front of the airplane seat for 300 Canadian dollars to fly from New York to Los Angeles. That's like a $3,000 ticket. And I was just like, we are here, enjoy the paradise. It's not like that anymore, but it is so much. I'm just like, but what happens when this ends? Because like there's going to need to be some economic addressing of a bunch of situations. Like I don't know what it's like in the UK, but in the States, there's like a quiet revolt going against restaurant owners right now because
Oh, I didn't know about this.
all the service staff were like, wait a minute,
Quitting.
I made more staying at home being on unemployment
Yeah.
than I did working for you. And in that pandemic, some of those restaurants got hundreds of thousands to maybe millions of dollars in improvement grants. They had their budgets covered completely because the US government couldn't let certain areas fall because it's one of those things where it's like they looked at it and it's like if these 4 restaurants close, we're going to lose this gentrified area and drop property values. So they were like, here's PPP loans, just stay open, stay open, stay open. And all those staff are like, you could have just paid me and you didn't. So fuck you. And I'm not coming back to work. It's like what brought down the UCB in LA was it was discovered they got their payroll paid and they furloughed all their staff and kept the money, allegedly, supposedly. I don't know if that's true. That's just a story I heard. But it's like, really? You have to you're fucking a bartender and the guy who founded your company like is an heir to a railroad fortune or some nonsense. Again, don't know if that's true. I was told that by one guy, but I want to believe it because that owner's kind of a dick. Not true? Oh, sounds true. Thank
Sounds true. But also, like, okay, here's my question because I've heard a little murmurings about the improv like world in America. Is UCB done? Because they're no longer on are they even in New York anymore?
They're not New York. Do you know what UCB is, Ashley? I don't want to leave you out of this.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
Okay,
that's all right. No, that's fine.
And also, by the way, Ashley, strap in to hate some people.
Ooh.
And strap in for a lot of insider baseball because I didn't do UCB, but I did the People's Improv Theater, 5 levels, never gone on a house. I have a whole thing. I hate improv. I hate it. It's a pyramid scheme. It's my LuLaRoe, and I got out. I got out, baby.
But before we go, let's get into this.
I love this fire.
What Ashley knows. So Ashley, when we say things like improv levels, house team, what do you think that means? Do you know the context?
Absolutely no idea.
Oh, get ready for such a fucking scam. Abigoliah, would you like to illuminate this absolute bag of shit?
Oh, we're stretching. We're
Okay.
getting pumped up.
I mean, here goes
New York
hour
City
2 is
back
going to
in the
fly by.
90s. There were some rabble scrabble kids out of Chicago that studied
Love
with a
that
man named Del Close, the godfather of long form improv. In Chicago, they came to New York, decided to open up a improv theater called the Upright Citizen Brigade. It was owned at the time by Ali Farnakian, who then broke away from them and opened the People's Improv Theater. Amy Poehler, Horatio Sands, help me out here.
Matt Besser.
Matt Besser, that's who it is. Matt Besser.
He's the main one. The ginger guy from Veep.
Yeah.
Whose name I can never remember.
And there was like 6 of them. So it started out as this hippie collective, and then they started to teach improv classes, and it costs about $400 to take a 6-week improv class. And then they started to do improv levels. So you go through level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. You pay for all of this. And then after you graduate level 5, you are allowed to audition for a house team, which means you get to perform once a week with your team at the theater for free. However, you still have to pay for a rehearsal space and for one of the teachers to coach your improv team. So you are constantly giving money to these people. They never pay their acts. They'll take ticket money, but I don't think you see any of the ticket money yourself at UCB. At the Pit, there was a split. At the People's Improv Theater, there used to be a split, but I don't think there ever was for the UCB. And when I was still in New York, people started to go, this is a bit bullshit because we're bringing so much money to this place and we're not seeing any of it. And now it's John, take over.
It's even crazier than that. So to run a show at any UCP venue, here's the following things you have to pay for. You pay for the rent. You have to rent the space. You have to provide promotional materials and you have to pay for them. They're up to a certain standard. They have to be presented in a certain way. The UCB logo has to be on it. They keep 100% of the door, and you pay for a technician. You basically lose money every time. And we're talking like I've done shows at UCP venues, and there's 300 people there.
Yeah.
And they keep all of the money, like thousands upon thousands of dollars in a night. And then they'll turn around and pour mouth you. Go ahead, Abigoliah.
I just want to jump into the chat real quick because some people are. I don't know if Tina Fey Broomstickery was ever an owner. I'm not sure.
She was not.
Matt Walsh is. Chris Gethard was never an owner. He came up behind all that. However, the Chris Gethard show was started at UCB New York. That's where he started doing that, but he's never been an owner of the property as far as I know. And Joe Trope said it sounds like Scientology for skint people, and boy, are you right. Sorry, I just wanted to, because people were dropping names. I wanted to be like, I know where these people fall. So sorry.
Yeah. No, what's crazy is then there was also a bunch of stuff, which is they were running a lot of their teachers. I'm going to speak very carefully. A lot of their teachers were, shall we say, dudes in their 20s and early 30s that grew up nerds and now were very cool to a lot of 19 and 20-year-old women trying to break into show business. And they had nothing in place to allow for the reporting of any type of abusive behavior. And also, it was very much a culture where there were a lot of older dudes trying to, or definitely fucking 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. It was so greasy, and it culminated in like the biggest clusterfuck ever of a guy was a predator, and UCB kept being like, we're handling it in-house. And people kept being like, you're not allowed, you need to call the police. It was so fucking crazy.
If you're talking about who I think you're talking about, I knew him.
I didn't know his name. Is that what his name is? Yeah, that like the famous guy.
I think it's him. Yeah, it's all fucked up. Anyways, I don't know how we got on this. This wine is great. It's a pyramid scheme, Ashley. It's a pyramid scheme.
Like literally, it sounds. Now, I've never heard of it before, but it sounds like something that a group of comics in Dublin were trying to maybe replicate.
What?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Who did what at the Comedy Cellar?
Literally that venue?
Of course it was. And it's upstairs, so stupid name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Is it upstairs?
The Comedy Cellar?
Yeah.
It's upstairs in a pub and there's no microphone. It's a very weird place. But for some reason, a coveted performance venue. And you walk in and you're like, well, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's It's definitely bigged up. I think because it's the oldest comedy venue in Ireland.
Is it
gets-
still run by what's his face's brother, Aiden?
No. Yes. He is no longer in Ireland. He's apparently waiting tables in New York.
Wait, okay, so his name is what was it? Who's his brother? His brother's that famous
Aiden.
comedian.
Aiden, yeah. You have the name right. Yeah.
Des Bishop. His brother's Des Bishop.
Well, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
I'll say it. His brother was Des Bishop. I really like Des Bishop. One of the weirdest green room conversationalists ever. Sat down after a gig and literally there's a song playing. He goes, "Did you get it?" And I went, "What?" And he went, "It's a callback from a joke I did earlier on." And I said, "Des, I just arrived. I'm hosting the next show." And he went, "Okay." And then just told me most of the hour he just had done.
Sounds about right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've had very little run-in with Aiden Bishop, but I will say, because this might be the funniest connection I've ever had with someone. The first time I ever came to do Edinburgh Fringe over here, I was still living in New York. I did a show called Beacon of Health and Fitness because I was a yoga instructor, but I didn't know anything about running shows, so it had nothing to do with yoga. And I ran into Aiden at somewhere along the Cowgate, and he just looks at me. He goes, "Hey, Abigoliah, I took your yoga class in New York a couple times. How's the Fringe going?" And I was like, "What is happening?"
What?
And I felt really famous for 2 seconds.
I will say this: Des Bishop, very funny comedian. He did for a brief time think he was a rapper, which was not funny. Let's watch him rap about Australian history.
Oh God!
no. And
Have you heard his remake of Jump Around?
No, I almost clicked on
He
that.
did a
but
remake of Jump Around in Irish.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Admittedly, did a lot for the Irish language.
I mean, I just read the private chat, Ashley. I have not heard any of those things, and let me tell you what I am not, and that is surprised even a little bit.
Not even a teeny tiny little bit, but
yeah,
I have no.
Oh yeah, I'm just catching up on that. Yeah.
Let's just enjoy this madness.
Guest is Des Bishop.
Thank you. Thank you
my
very
God, I
much.
think I remember this
is,
being on
it's very
TV.
exciting for me tonight. Basically, I'm from New York, but I live in Ireland, and I always wanted to be a hip hop star. And then I moved to Ireland, and that screwed things up completely. There's not much of a hip hop market there. So I thought, I'm coming to Australia. I want to learn about Australia. So I got the movie Australia, and I didn't learn shit, to be honest with you. So I thought, right, I'm going to make an effort, and I'm going to write a rap about the history of Australia.
Tough.
I apologize because I'm mad nervous because
what makes this better is he is a very good comedian, and what he's done right here is, I guarantee this is what happened, is he got very famous in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
No one said no to him, and he went, "I'm going to go to Australia and rap about the history of Australia," and everyone went, "That's a good idea, Des."
Mm-hmm.
And also, by the way, I love when comedians don't know the word for something, so they just make something up. So instead of saying scene, he said hip hop market, which sounds like the least hip hop thing I've ever heard in my entire, it's so here's what I also like about Des is, I know if he found out we did this, he would be
so pissed.
He'd be so angry, he would never say anything. He would it would be on his face smoldering with anger, and he'd want to come on and make fun of it with us, which really I enjoy.
Just to own his narrative.
Exactly correct. That's exactly what he would be doing. Yeah.
All right, let's see Des Bishop. Oh God, this is gonna be
this is so funny
amazing.
coming in from Tiger. He's also wrong. Hip hop was fucking huge in 90s Dublin.
It was. That was the height of the Celtic Tiger.
That's amazing.
People had notions during the Celtic Tiger. Everybody was an expert in
no one knows
everything.
anything about Australian history.
That's so funny that he could. Oh my God, what a maroon!
Looks
All right.
like
it's just a segue.
Gang in prison, says broomstickery, by the way. Which I see it.
Yeah.
Also, I have a question. Have we said hello to the podcast listeners yet? I don't think we have.
We haven't.
Well,
Hi, podcast listeners.
We are joined today by Abigoliah Schamaun. Abigoliah, where can people on the podcast find you? They won't be able to see you. They're just going to hear you.
I'll drop it in the description anyway as well.
Hi, I am on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Abigoliah. And I also have a YouTube cooking show. Please subscribe to it, called Just Like Mom Made, spelled M-O-M, because it's my mom I'm talking about. So check that out, Just Like Mom Made.
Also, just a quick thing coming in from Boomstickery, 1 hour, 23 minutes, a new record. That is a new record for saying hello to the podcast. I'm glad you were here for this, quite frankly. It's been a great show, even greater, because also, for those of you who don't know, some of the people in the chat say very rude things to the people who listen to the podcast, and I love it always. I will not read them. It's great. But if you join us,
because if you're a podcast listener, you can't get to read them. But
yeah, you have to come watch at Untitled Twitch stream. That's Untitled Twitch stream every day, 2 to 4 Pacific time, and 10 to 12 late night time. All right, let's watch Des really talk about Ned Kelly.
The Australians don't know about Australian history either. That's why I think this is really important. So I also am aware of the fact that when I'm nervous, I do this a lot. So I apologize for that. And in Ireland, I can't do that at all. Like, oh my God, he's touching himself. Because it turns out in Ireland, touching your own balls is a sin. Yeah. That's why the Christian brothers do it for you. Oh! Obviously, no need for the beatbox there whatsoever. I just threw it in case there was any Christians getting upset. They'd be like, hold on a minute, mate, that's unacceptable. Oh no, come on, here we go, come on. Let me hear you say it. So,
God, he has
the Chinese word for toilet is Shisho Jen. Okay? Doesn't matter, I'll explain later. The Chinese word for toilet is Shisho Jen. Ladies and gentlemen, the history of Australia in 3 verses. DJ, hit that beat. Throw your hands like this. Don't be afraid. I know you're in the Princess Theater, but you might as well let it go. Here we go. I might mess it up, but who cares?
I love this woman not doing the wave. Did anyone else see that?
Came from Holland, 1606, same year as tourists. Found seaways that were skinny in between Queensland and Papua New Guinea. Give me land. European scheming and dreaming. Tasman discovered land named
Ashley, can you talk about your jaw again?
In 1642, with the 17th century, not even halfway through. In 1717,
it would feel disrespectful. Yeah. You can't even understand him.
Oh, I got
one. Like, reach the height. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead first.
It's like he reached the height of his comedy career and then looked at everyone and goes, "You know what Australia doesn't have? Schoolhouse Rock, and I'm gonna bring it there."
I think Andy Chilled has nailed it.
He ain't no rapper.
He ain't no rapper coming in from.
Is it supposed to be funny? Was it supposed to be a comedy rap?
I know. From what I understand, he literally was like, "I'm launching my career."
Because he seems to be taking it so seriously, and it's so not good.
This is just an absolute sidebar. I just swiveled this way, and there's a cat that lives in this house, and the cat is sleeping so adorably with its head on a little stuffed fish. Its head's on a little stuffed fish.
That's
very
really
cute. I will tell you, it did my eyes a world of good after the assault.
Yeah.
It was just a resuscitation of a wiki. Is it supposed to be funny? Is not a good question of a comics filmed set coming in from Diamond Geyser. Andy Chill just wrote, "He'll eat that stuffed fish." Maybe he will. All right, let's just. It's not. Oh, it's only halfway through. God damn it, Des.
The colony grew slowly there among the rocks. Black fellas died in numbers, exposed to smallpox. William Block from rebellion, and then Macquarie.
You know when you see teenage boys trying to rap?
Yes. Do you know when you see dads try and rap? That's what this feels like right now.
It's a mixture of both of those things.
It was like Des really wanted to sing like "Fuck the Police" by NWA, but was aware he couldn't get away with the N-word, so he just wrote a song instead.
Yeah. So I guess this is before or after he learned Chinese to do comedy.
During, yeah.
Are we just watching an incredibly intelligent man have a breakdown? Is that what this is?
I wouldn't say incredibly intelligent.
I wouldn't know. That's an overstatement.
I think you guys are like, he's not that smart.
Yeah.
Chinese isn't that hard to learn. Tom just walked into the room.
All right. Here's my question: why did he make sure that we all knew what Shizhou meant? The Chinese word
I
for
feel
toilet?
like it's
'Cause
gonna
that
be
hasn't-
it's gonna be one thing at the very end of it, I guarantee. And it's big, but I can't understand a single word he's saying in the rest of this.
I've understood the words New South and Wales. That's it.
I heard Adelaide at one point, and I was like, "Hey,
I've been
I've
there.
been on a wine tour there."
Steve Mooney coming in with the ever so wilting comment of, is he aware that this is supposed to be a comedy show?
Boom.
It's
it'll be
so bad.
Oh yeah, and I want you to know we still have another minute to go, and let's begin. I do like how they cannot show the crowd because I assume the crowd has stopped waving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give a little bit back. Yeah, it's your history.
He just said it's the most douchey thing I've ever heard in my life. Did he just say it's your history?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Please stop.
Oh no.
He's going for one of those Andrew Lawrence applause breaks where people clap because you did all the words fast. Truly one of my favorite tricks of stand-up comedy. I love that it's been figured out, but it was years before people figured that out. You can't bash the Bishop fool coming in from Joe Trope, and Yes Meatball says that crowd shot was cut from earlier. And
I was thinking the same thing, dude.
let's continue. We're so close to being done.
But you know that because it was in a TV commercial. Last verse. Here we go.
It's not good when you have to tell people it's the last verse. I'll tell you that much. Oh my God, so many people are sad.
And that was crap. You sent them far left, but they never sent him back. Then the bomb and the Darwin from the Japanese. Fear of commies under Robert Menzies. Populate or perish.
What is he doing with his hand?
Over 100,000 Greeks arrived. 40 acres of thunder. White Australia's a gunner. Harold Holt drowned. They built a swimming pool in his honor. The Vietnam conscription. Labor under window. Land right for blacks back in the political system. For tourism promotion, you send the Yanks for Hogan. They come in droves. Expecting a land loaded with bogans. So many political backs. The liberals speak about balance. The media gets controlled by Rupert Murdoch and Pat. Increase Asian immigration as it creates the one nation. How words years of us
His breathing is so stressful.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes how bad he's coming across, too.
Yeah.
When he said sorry on his very first day. Yeah, oh. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, did we ever get the payoff for the Japanese or the Chinese word for toilet?
No, we never did.
Christ.
Oh my good God. Can we
That
watch?
dude needs to take some voice lessons like this.
How would you guys feel about watching some Sammy J and Randy as a palate cleanser coming in from Diamond? What the fuck? So we're just dispensing with the any sort of pretense Abigoliah? We're just going straight for the bottle at this point?
That and Tom just took my cup and I needed a moment. So
What the hell,
I would-
Tom?
Yeah, what the hell, Tom?
Yeah, what the
Okay,
hell?
there you-
Yeah, what the hell,
Johnny.
Tom? Hi, Tom.
Johnny.
Tom,
It's my
you look
boyfriend.
great, I have to say. He looks really
Oh.
good.
Oh, Tom, John says you look great. Do you want to say something into the microphone?
He has a cold right now. I sent him to bed before I did this podcast. I was
Hi,
like,
Tom.
go to bed.
Other way, buddy. There you go. How you doing, pal? Oh, you can't hear me because of Abigoliah's
Hold on, I can
headphones?
make it. I can make it. There you go. He can hear you now.
Power of technology.
Oh, how you doing? What are you sick with? Do you have COVID?
No, it's worse. It's a cold.
It's worse than COVID?
It's worse. It's a cold.
No. How have you
Yes.
been? Your skin, I don't like that both of you look much healthier and you're in the UK, which you should have spotty, terrible skin. I don't like
the
this at
trick
all.
is don't ever leave the house or go in the sun ever or outside.
That is not the trick. That's actually very bad for your mental and just physical health. The sun is a nourishing orb of hope. Abigoliah knows she's from a good country.
We have sun where I'm from. Tom hasn't been outside in 2 years. It does make him look healthy, but you're right. Our mental health has rapidly declined recently.
Yeah.
Whenever I get in the sun, I just break out in cancer.
He does have a tendency to get basal cell carcinomas, which is a skin cancer. But
God,
Tom has
also-
had 3 cancerous moles removed from his body, and we are both only 35. And
Congratulations.
doctors have made a point to tell him that he is really young to already have this starting.
Yeah.
just in case he needed to add anything to it.
I
dear.
I remember I had something that they thought was precancerous, like a precancerous mole, and they were like, I don't know how you would have gotten this if you're just in England. And I was like, oh, I was just in Australia for 3 months, and they were like, oh yeah, we're cutting this out right now. And then they just went and got a big scalpel and this cauterizing like thing that looked like a tiny, what's the thing you'd use to like put circuit boards together, like a soldering iron. And he just went, do you need like a pain pill? And I was like, maybe. And he's like,
Yeah.
and I was like, just do it. And then he just was like, all right. And then just like, and then just, and then he gave me some paracetamol with codeine. Took 2 of those, and let me tell you, that 29 bus was a real zoo.
There's nothing quite like smelling your own flesh barbecuing.
I mean, I can't believe someone else
we have
has said,
circled back around to
literally,
this.
Tom, you just did
We
a callback.
started with burning flesh.
Tom, is that your first callback?
No.
You never know.
Oh,
coming in from
God.
coming in from the chat, coming in from Boomstickery. How the fuck is this stream like this? I don't know.
How do we do it? It's
It's
something chemical for sure.
Bye, Tom, you sweet boy.
Bye.
Oh, is it okay if he joins? I think
Yeah,
sure.
well, yeah.
You want to join?
I don't really know what's going on, so I might just leave you guys.
Tom,
Are you
we
sure?
do not know either.
We don't know either. We're just
But Tom, you go enjoy. We'll take care of Abigoliah.
Okay.
We'll have a nice time.
We'll
Enjoy your
talk
tea.
to you later, honey. I love you.
You say I hate you. Oh my God.
Oh, I said I love you. I go, bye, honey. I love you. And he looked at me and goes, bye, honey, because we've never called each other that ever.
I think it's
And he's
sweet.
like, you are just doing this because you're on a podcast.
Of
Oh,
course.
that's
Of course
funny.
you are, but that's fine.
Yeah. I call
Here's
him.
my question. Has he
Go ahead.
seen Ohio?
Okay, so my wrong button. My family doesn't live in Ohio anymore. My mom lives in Indiana, which
Oh,
is
yes.
yeah. So he's been to Indiana, and here's the thing: my mom lives very near Louisville, Kentucky, just on the other side of the river. And Louisville is
Fuck yeah.
actually a cool place.
Yeah. I've
And
heard
there-
great stuff.
There's great restaurants, there's good music videos, there's all this and that. And Tom, early on in his trip to Indiucky, as we call it, discovered the IHOP and went all the way to America. And then every morning was like, can we go to IHOP?
Of course. I'm 100% with him. I love IHOP in a way that Americans do not understand. There's something about Ashley. Do you know what
What's
the
that?
internet?
No.
Oh, it is the International House of
House
Pancakes.
of Pancakes.
Everything
Oh
on
yes,
the menu.
you have told me about this before.
On the menu comes with pancakes. It is assumed you want a full meal, and then your roll on the side is a 4-stack of pancakes.
Yeah.
That's land of the free, home of the fucking brave, ladies and gentlemen. That's America right there.
Yeah. And okay, so I will tell you this because John will get a kick out of this. Again, Ashley, you'll have no clue what I'm talking about. But the first time Tom ever went to the States to meet my family, he was like, hey, can we go to that restaurant that you talk about that's like really good? And I was like, oh, Jack Fry's, which is a steakhouse in Louisville, Kentucky that's quite renowned. It's one of the best.
Mhm.
I think it's the best steakhouse in the state, having eaten at 2 steakhouses in Kentucky. But it's like an incredible restaurant. And I was like, oh, you want to go to Jack Fry's? Yeah, I'll call my mom. We'll make a reservation. She goes, no, the other place that you talk about that's in America. And I was like, I don't what are you talking about? He's like, the place where you said that is good with the breadsticks. And I was like, you want to go to Olive Garden? And he's like, yes, I want to try an Olive Garden. And which is it's like going to Jamie Oliver's Italian restaurant. So
Okay.
Yeah, he could have
Yeah.
gone to this amazingly cool looking steakhouse.
yeah,
and he
that's
chose.
very good.
That said, though, the Olive Garden is kind of shit, but it's actually kind of awesome. Like it's one of those things where they
I mean,
don't.
Well, we did go to one and they had like a little bar cafe area that looks like a nice little cute restaurant. And they tried to put us there like right when we walked in because we were like 2 adults. And I was like, oh, no. We are sitting in the main dining room among all the children because I want Tom to have the correct experience. And we walked in there and Tom was like, no, we're eating at the bar. So we like ate at the bar. So it was like this lovely, intimate eating experience. And when you do that, the food, I gotta be honest, I fucking love it. That chicken scampi, still one
Oh
of
my
my
God.
favorite meals of all time.
It looked like it's and like look at this. It's such an American family style. Look at that man with his frosted beer and his divorce. Oh, what a hero!
You are not sharing your
There it
screen.
is.
Oh, there
Right,
we
it is.
go.
Right there. Look
There
at-
we go. That's the Olive Garden. That is where my boyfriend flew all the way to America and was like, listen, I'm all about the International House of Pancakes and the Olive Garden.
I want to
And
know more about this man that just appears in a Olive Garden promotional. I want to know. Look how like he's surprised by how much he's enjoying this beer. This T-shirt is an absolute cry for help. He has
You know
a
what?
full salad bowl.
he got the, you know what I think he ordered? The unending soup and salad and breadsticks, which is
course
a
he did.
lunch item that you can get unending breadstick, soup, and salad, and you can have as much as you want. That is a man who's, I'm going to be honest, that's me if Tom ever leaves me and I have to move back to Indiana. That's going to be me right
A
there.
couple of big questions coming in. One from Andy Chilled. Scampi together. Chicken and Scampi together must be the USA.
Yeah.
Nuka Boy, where is the garden? Great question. Just a great question. Where is the garden? Oh man, that decor sets off warning signs coming in from Tiger Tiger.
Yeah.
Also in from Nuka Boy. Where is the olives? Bear in mind, Italian restaurant. And then everything in the US is exotic to us Brits, coming in from Radiant User. Nuka Boy, all I see is a sad table. And from Kirsten, they had a pretty decent arancini last time I was there. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I mean, I like an Olive Garden. I will tell you where I have a real soft spot for, and that is, and people think I'm an asshole, the Outback Steakhouse.
The Bloomin' Onion.
Okay, you can't go wrong. I was about to bring the blooming. Do you know what a blooming onion is? Ashley
No.
Roberta Manning. Ashley Roberta Manning, Esquire, from Dublin City, Northern Ireland. No, not from any of those places. County Louth.
I'm
where
gonna be
I was
honest.
born.
I feel like
County
every
Louth. Did I get
time,
that right?
the whole 2 times I've come on this stream, I'm always like, "Hi, Ashley. I'm gonna talk to the North Americans about North American things." Thank you for hosting me on your
Hey,
show.
we
but
also
I'm-
we did some burning flesh stories. So
yeah, we did do some
you
burning
know.
flesh stories up top.
Yeah,
I've been
You did have your
covered.
jaw broken by your mother without her being told that's what she's doing to you.
Oh God,
Okay,
damn it!
please explain a blooming onion.
I'm about to
me.
show you a blooming onion, and you.
Oh yes, get ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. I gotta tell you.
Also, back in the
There it
day,
is.
What in the name of fuck is that?
Okay, they
Beautiful.
take a full onion, they chop it in such a way, and then they
That it
bloom it.
falls out. Okay.
It falls out, and then they put that in a deep fryer.
batter
That
it.
is
Batter it.
fascinating.
Yeah.
It is. And I want you to know this, and I mean this. That right there, you see that right there? That's an appetizer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what's for dinner. That's the amuse-bouche.
I mean, it's essentially onion rings, though, right?
Yeah, but it's
That's
so many. It's so many.
And
onion
look
rings.
at that dip in the middle, that Thousand Island dip that is not like just some sort
this
of
is also-
creamy, weird. I don't know what is it, Thousand Island? I don't know. I haven't been to an Outback in a very, very long time.
It's more of a Chipotle style, but what they also don't tell you about
Mm.
America is that in the last 5 years, ranch dressing has been added to the assumed condiment selection at all restaurants.
As it
And I am
should be
I am
everywhere.
so in favor of it. Like you don't like I under
Mhm.
like yes, it's taking years off my life, and I'm fine with it. I want the pleasure. Also coming in from Boop Stickery, the dip of 1,000 dials. You say that's right.
Also,
Um,
Steve Mooney made a good point, which is that anytime Paul Byrne comes on the show, it's just me and him
Oh my
talking about
God.
Irish things. So,
Oh, okay.
you know,
There's also there is now something apparently out in the Outback Steakhouse called the Bloomin' Chicken, which is
No.
same batter as the blooming onion, but on one of the larger chicken breasts I've ever seen in my life. Let's go to a picture.
Do they fold it out like some sort of hellscape chicken?
If any, look at this fucking thing. Look at it.
Show it to me. Show it to me. I can't see it
Oh, you
yet.
can't see. Oh, it's because stupid Chris has the thing turned off, so it doesn't immediately come up. Drives me insane. Look at that.
Oh, I could get down with that.
It's
Again, anytime
it
you
is
fry
just
a chicken.
fried chicken.
I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
you're
but you don't have this.
understanding.
You haven't had the
my-
batter of,
yeah,
of
like
blooming
you
onion.
don't like you of Irish heritage. You're all about the boil, but America, we're all about the fry.
The fry. Yeah.
And I fried onions, fried pickles, fried chicken, fried what's it called? What's it
Lips?
called? The steak that you have, country fried steak.
Oh, country
is-
fried
Oh my God.
steak.
It is
Country fried
hammered.
steak.
It's a hammered chicken breast. It's not that it's really big. It's hammered.
Yeah, I agree with I see what you're saying. And if any other country, you would be right. I do not. I believe that America just got a big chicken. Also,
Mm,
chicken fried steak. And what's the other one? What's the
it's very
battered
flat
steak?
though.
Yeah, a chicken fried steak is hammered out, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
chicken fried steak is, oh my God.
it's the best with the gravy.
Hammered
bits
chicken
with the
is
gravy.
great. It goes really tender because you've
Also-
beaten the shit out of it.
Have smash burgers made it to Europe yet?
Yes, I believe smash burgers exist here.
Do you know what a smash burger is, Abigoliah?
It sounds familiar, but there's so many like best burger chains ever that I now lose track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
We have
I
ruined.
do live in Scotland where they deep fry everything. Most recent one that I heard of is something called a crunch. Pizza crunch is literally a deep fried slice of pizza.
Oh,
They
I've
take a
heard.
slice of pizza and they deep fry it in a batter.
I got it right here. You want to see what it looks like, everybody?
Yeah,
'Cause get ready.
show me the money.
Oh my God, 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 oh my God. Look at this shit right here. Look at
That's
this.
it right
Iron
there.
brew.
I want this very bad. Oh my God.
That's
Of course it
great.
comes with chips, you monsters.
I haven't tried this before, but I have
I
been
will.
told to try it.
I'll
A
be in-
certain Gareth Waugh has told me I need to try this. So
I will be in Glasgow in November. Let's go out for a fried pizza together, shall we?
let's do that.
Let me
And-
also ask you this, Ashley Manning of Ireland. Is it true that in Ireland, if you go to like sort of an older school place and you get like, let's say, spaghetti bolognese, they will
Uh-huh.
ask you if you want like chips and peas and carrots like that? It's
Yeah,
assumed that,
that's-
yeah, it's
that's
the funny,
just
it's the craziest thing.
standard.
It's
That is just
so-
standard in Ireland, and it's like boiled vegetables, and it is broccoli, peas, carrots, and turnip, and it's always served on these little white dishes, and it is the most bizarre thing. It's never good, but you for some reason end up with it in a lot of places. And that's just your veg. That's your standard vegetables that you get. But yeah, it's very common to just have chips on the side of everything as well.
I love
Yeah,
it.
it's
Pasta with chips.
Yeah.
It sounds like too much. Like if I'm out, I'm gonna be like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh,
Pasta
and don't
with
forget the
chips?"
garlic bread.
I remember.
It is
I
just
am
starch
going to-
upon starch upon starch.
I am going to pretend to be offended by that, and in my head, I'll be like, "This is all I've ever wanted. It's just pasta and chips and garlic bread. Thank you for understanding me, Ireland."
Yeah. Yeah, garlic bread with lasagna is a big thing.
Well, yeah, but
that seems normal, but
That
you
makes
will
sense.
still get there is
Pork
definitely
bread.
places where you can still get that little bowl of vegetables and chips as well.
Perfect.
Oh my god, so good. It's I love the little quirks. I love when American cuisine is exported and sort of the interpretation, especially Europe, will add to it. For example, the pizza with chips move weirdly would never be done here, but is
Yeah.
so de rigueur in especially
Uh-huh.
Ireland and Britain. Like those islands love. And it's also that weird thing of, here's the other thing that's weird, is if you get really crispy chips with the pizza and you time it so you put a fry on the pizza, eat that together, phenomenal. So much so, one of the best pizzas in LA, in my opinion, is from a place called Three Bean, and I always get the potato pizza. And in my head, I always go, how have they not figured out just have chips with pizza in this country? They figured out
Yeah.
everything else. They put gravy on everything here. What the fuck are they doing? Let us slowly and quietly transition into plugging all the things we have to plug.
Uh-huh.
Probably we will take some more tangents and we will wrap up right on time. We will start with our
Sure.
guest, Abigoliah. First of all, thank you so much for coming. She's currently
Thank
typing
you for
something. I
having
assume
me.
a resignation letter of some description.
Yeah,
What,
I quit.
what would
That's what it
you
says.
like to
Plug. So the first thing I would like to plug, because I have two things, if I may be so bold, is I said earlier, I have my YouTube channel. I don't want to brag. I've been doing it for what will be a year in November, and I just passed 500 subscribers.
Oh.
So yay! I'm practically viral. Call me Corona.
What is this that I'm showing? What is this right here? What is that? You made that. What is that? Is that a slice of cornbread in delicious chili?
That is a slice of corn. So that is the first episode. I believe that's the first episode ever. And that is a slice of cornbread with a bean chili that I thought would take 4 hours. And Tom and I ate dinner at 1 a.m. that night because it took so fucking long to make. So when I say it's a cooking show, it's not always this is how you will learn to cook it. It's more of you will watch Abigoliah figure out this is a lot harder than she thought it would be. There's
This
a
is
lot of that.
Amazing.
That's
Oh
so
my God.
good.
What turned out to be the hardest thing that you had to make?
So I'd say the bean chili, I guess, surprised me, but wasn't hard. Hold on, I have to think about this. You know what I was really proud of, because I literally never made it and haven't had it since I was like about 15, is I made it's gluten-free, kids, flourless chocolate cake with macadamia nuts. And it is the most beautiful, and it had a rum anglaise with it. So like it's this like
Ooh.
just rich as sin chocolate cake, and then you serve it with some rum anglaise. And the way I decorated it was I put roses on it like my mom did, but you make rose leaves to put around it in dark chocolate, and you put that all around it. So I taught myself how to like make rose leaves via
Ooh, that's very fun.
And so it's probably the most prettiest and delicious thing I ever made. My boyfriend, Tom, who you saw earlier, said it was too rich and ate wagon wheels. And I ate the whole damn cake by myself, and it was the best time of my life.
Oh
He
my
ate
days.
wagon wheels. What a fucking English person.
He has the least sophisticated palate of anyone you'd ever met. I mean, he loves the IHOP, so we get on there. But when we go into like more of a complex flavoring, more of a you know, something with a bit of adventure, he's very against it.
I will tell you,
he's-
sorry, go ahead.
I just heard walking upstairs. I feel like
Oh,
he
no.
heard he was coming down to defend himself.
Coming in a couple of things from the chat. First of all, my name is Ruin. I once made a demi-glace sauce off Escoffier's cookbook.
Oh
Took
yeah, here
3
he
days.
comes. Took 3 days.
Tom, answer for your.
Hold
go
on,
ahead, bring him on. Bring him
let's-
on.
Yeah, let me hold on. All right, Tom, come here.
I wanted to say, by the way, I
John
felt
had-
like I was an asshole starting plugs and raids this early. We are
Uh-huh.
barely going to finish on time. Like I
Yeah.
guarantee, it's just not happening.
You got to take into account the fact that you didn't eat my flourless chocolate cake because you wanted wagon wheels. Quickly, we're supposed to end.
Atone
in
for your
12
sins.
minutes.
Yeah.
What's the
So
problem?
Tom,
Yes.
your partner, nay, your lover, your friend, made a lovely flourless chocolate cake with rosies on it. And you, what did you say when you ate it?
I didn't eat it.
Wait a minute, what? You didn't even taste it?
I tried it. It's too much.
What?
Too much.
Too much of what? Fun?
Everything.
Cheese?
Love?
It's like eating chocolate.
Keep talking. I'm just
Wait,
gonna
I
look
can't
something up. I'm just looking
What
something
is it?
up.
It's just really rich chocolate. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it.
He ate wagon wheels. He ate wagon
Wagon wheels
wheels
good.
because my food is too much for him.
Coming in from Yes Meatballs, give him a
Somebody's
jammy
really
wagon wheel. It'll blow his mind.
Jammy,
You ever had-
you're messing with it. It's just chocolate's fine. Don't add jam.
So funny. That's so funny. You're like, no, it's fine. You don't need anything else.
Tom
The thing
is
about chocolate is like chocolate is already like nothing you add to chocolate will make chocolate better.
That's insane. Peanut butter. You add peanut butter to chocolate, chocolate is made better.
I'm making Buckeyes for the show tomorrow.
What are Buckeyes? I want to know what those are. Those sound amazing.
Okay, so they're indigenous to Ohio and they became prevalent in the 1970s. And do you know what a Buckeye tree is? In Britain, you call them conkers. Yes? Conkers?
Yeah, I know them as walnuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So a Buckeye.
Chestnuts. Horse chestnuts.
Okay, but
Yeah.
we call them Buckeyes because they look like the buck of the eye, and it's our national tree, our Ohio State. Get rid of my peanut butter.
What did
Sorry.
you do? What did he do to your peanut butter? Is it
No,
Jif?
I have all my
That's like
ingredients
best-
prepped.
Oh,
I have all
shit
my
on the kitchen
ingredients
counter.
prepped so I can just wake up and film an episode tomorrow. And Tom's like, show them your massive mound of peanut butter.
It looks rough.
It
I will
is.
say this, Ashley-
It is a chocolate and peanut butter confectionery that looks like a Buckeye or a Conker. That's as you call them over here.
I also think, by the way,
It's
and it was
chocolate
so
and peanut
fun,
butter.
Is Ashley, just because Ashley was sharing the link to Abigoliah's show that's in the chat right now, so you were just distracted, so you didn't see the peanut butter, and then we got
And then
treated
I
to
saw
the
it.
greatest reaction ever because I knew you were doing, but because you were just focusing, you looked really pissed off at the peanut butter, and it was like you fell in love with it. This is what it was. It was like this. Like you leave.
I
you were
really
like,
enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Chunky or smooth, Mr.
I'll
J.
send you the
I
recipe.
honestly, Abigoliah, it sounds like your chocolate cake was probably amazing because my mother used to make wedding cakes for a living. That was what she did
Oh
for
wow!
years.
Okay, yeah.
So she was fully trained in chocolatiering. She was really high level of making cakes, and one of the biggest things that was said about her, or that kind of, I want to call them muggles because I can't think of a better word, but people who are not as well acquired to good taste, let's say, would always say that it was too rich.
Yeah, they're
Her
wrong.
How's
chocolate
that feel,
cake.
Tom?
Yeah,
How's
they're
that feel?
I don't care if you're wrong. It doesn't make any difference to me what you think about chocolate.
This is why the English as a group
Like,
of
how does
human
it
beings have
make
gotten
any
this
difference
far.
to, like, my
This is
enjoyment
the
of
best
something?
thing. This is the greatest thing about this is the entire nation's perspective on anything where it's like, yeah, I heard your point. I don't care. And you're like, well, there's no winning this argument. There's nothing.
That's why
Well,
Brexit
what are we
happened.
arguing about? Like, I don't like something you do. It's completely.
is
But
This
it's
is
the thing
why-
it was like my favorite cake as a child. My mother
know, it's
once
the best.
told me that like she was like, I hated that you loved it so much because she made it like one time for her friends. And I had a slice of it, like she was showing off, and it became my favorite cake. So I asked for it all the time, and she's like, "It goddamn killed me. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I hated that you loved it, and I hated making it for you. So when I made it, it was like a big moment for me to like understand what went into it and how difficult it was." And I was so excited to share it with my one true love, and he was just like, "I'll have a wagon wheel."
Oh,
God.
yeah. I gotta tell you
honestly,
right there.
I can
That's why there's a
empathize.
fuel shortage. That's why there's a fuel shortage. I want you to
I
know.
get it.
That same
I get it
energy.
so much because I'm exactly the same with my mother's chocolate fudge cake, and but more specifically, my mother made chocolate cake and she would make it with Italian meringue buttercream, and Italian meringue buttercream is just
what the fuck is that?
It's
buttery.
fucking heaven tier.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's also really difficult to make. And she has taught me how to make it, but I haven't made it by myself yet. And so I kind of need to do a few more practice runs with her, I think. It's so good. Also, Gareth was in the chat. Hello.
Hey, Gareth.
Hi,
and
Gareth.
He said hello to you guys as well.
Yeah.
And he's on the wagon wheel side, which is disappointing.
That's because you haven't had my cake, Gareth.
Yeah.
You haven't
Yeah.
had my
It's
cake.
too rich to like it.
You'd love it.
Nor
It's
mine.
very rich.
I made Gareth a cake. I made him a cake, and he didn't meet me to get it from me, so I ended up eating that cake.
Why? What a horrible friend.
What the fuck is with the men of
Take
the
it up
British Isles getting delicious cakes prepared and then just hucking them into the nothing? If someone made me a cake, I would, even if it was like it's a booger cake filled with human shit. Here's what I would do. Oh, okay.
I'm just
Not
gonna
for me.
find the cake episode real quick so you guys can see it.
Is
or
Tom
not
just
see it.
is Tom just in the background of the whole cake episode, just eating wagon wheels? Because if not,
No, he's not. Tom
should
does
keep a bit of
appear.
distance.
Tom does appear in a couple episodes. We made Tom and I made what did we make? We made
Made
pancakes together, which
we had for dinner.
and he made that because I basically kept forgetting to turn on my own camera, and so I did the whole episode twice without without having a camera on. So Tom agreed to do it with me, and then we did in February we decorated a cake, but we did not bake a cake for which was our pride cake. It was our LGBTQ plus cake. Because Tom, I don't know if you two know this, Tom came out as bisexual this past year, and does drag. And so we dressed up all fancy and
hell yeah.
And decorated a cake together.
I did
That's
the 2 episodes
awesome.
are in drag.
Say what?
Pardon me?
The 2 episodes are in
Yeah,
drag.
he did both in drag. He's wearing full heels and I am in a house slippers, which you cannot see in the video. But if you're like, wow, he's really tall. He's not that tall. He has just discovered heels and is very excited about them.
How are your ankles looking as a result of discovering heels? Oh yeah, that's. I mean, and your calves. Let's see those calves. Little up. Oh, looking good. Looking
Here's the thing.
well
He thinks-
defined.
Okay, Ashley, you'll understand this. He thinks heels are easy to walk in because he has not left the house in them yet. He gets all dressed up and then sits on the sofa and watches television with me.
Oh
He
yeah,
hasn't
it's
been out
very
in
easy to wear
London.
them to the bathroom and back.
He's gonna break his his ankle the first time he leaves the flat, and then
I
will
haven't
never
worn
let
heels
him
in
live
years.
I'm going to tell you this. You guys seem like you've done lockdown very right in that you just get absolutely gorgeous and then just watch a bit of the old TV while having sweeties. Like, this is just like, I was boiling meat and staring out a window.
Excellent propaganda you're telling everyone.
I didn't. Well, I mean, we've really meandered through the world right now. I didn't get into the dark shit. But
Yeah,
you
don't
can
get into
have
the
us
dark
both
shit.
on sometime.
they
Okay, this
think
is
we're functional
this is
human
how you make the
beings.
leaves right here.
Okay.
So what you do is you
Nearly 3.
Will I let you or you?
Yeah, would you like
you just let the video play? I thought I
All right.
forgot
Okay.
this was possible.
3. We are going to call that done. And we are just going to pop this in the fridge. And so it's the same game with milk chocolate as it is white chocolate. Yeah, now
Production
it's
value
melting.
is on point. Oh, thank you. I filmed on my phone.
We do the exact same thing that we did with the white chocolate that we're going to do with the milk chocolate.
I don't know if you're really learning anything.
Can't believe she did this for me. My mom made me this cake for my 11th birthday. I gotta call. I gotta send her a card. We are going to assemble the cake now, which is a very exciting moment. So I did put this in the refrigerator or the freezer for about 15 minutes just to take the temperature down a little bit. Just go around the edge.
By the way, I've
to
never made this before.
loosen
I'm
the
talking
sides.
like I know what I'm
and
doing.
then I have
no
an
idea.
8-inch cake.
Pause. Abigoliah, you need to get one of those, the cake pans with the buckle so you literally just undo it.
Spring form.
I have a
Yeah.
spring form.
Yeah.
But it's in a heart shape. And this it doesn't matter. Why am I explaining this to you?
What
I
heart-shaped
stand
cake
by
did you
my
make,
cake.
Tom, that he then ate a bunch of penguins instead of enjoying the heart-shaped cake?
What did you make? Oh no, the original pride cake was a heart-shaped one, wasn't it?
No, this was supposed to be heart shaped, but you have to cook this one in, I think you have to like boil it. Like you have to submerge it in an inch of water to cook it.
That was leaking or something that was an issue. Like the paint can.
The
the
paint
cake
can.
tin was leaking or something.
No, it didn't start. So I bought a springform cake pan off the internet to make this one in a heart shape, but it had gaps in it. And I was like, you have to, in order to cook this, you have to submerge it into an inch of water. And then like, it's kind of like a boiled cake. You know what I'm talking about, Ashley. So I did it in this pan instead. And then, of course, as always, I release the episode and then my mother calls me and tells me how to do it correctly. Could we have talked about it beforehand? Yes. Do we ever? No.
It's better this way. What you need to do is do season 2 is you and your mom doing it all together and her explaining where you've gone wrong.
We did do one episode together when I was in town in June. We did a blueberry pie. And what you have to know about that, we did blueberry cream pie, which is my favorite pie, is my mother is very stage fright. And she was incredibly nervous the whole time. So every time I ask her, I'm like, so why did you do it that way? She just goes, it's just the way you do it.
Oh my God.
She was just like, I was like, so how do you know when it's done? And she goes, when it's done. I'm like, okay, Mom. And then she called me afterwards. She's like, I should have said this. I should have said that. Like, yeah.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch the end of this.
Board that I'm just going to lay right there because it's going to make it easy to move it from one point to the other. And then we flip it. Oh. Okay.
See, I don't know.
Oh my God, that's stuck.
Springborn cake. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
It worked. It worked.
You sound very confident.
So I have, let me look at this. So I'm going to put it here on this. We're going to take a doily.
Oh, this.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay it on the cake and we're going to find a pattern because it won't make a full-on heart shape that we like. Take our icing sugar sprinkle it all over
Did
the
this
cake.
work? I don't think that was a lot of. That was a way.
Or
too
just
much
one
action.
big swoop.
Oh yeah.
I think there's too much icing sugar on this side, so we'll just brush some away, like we're an archaeologist on a dig. Here goes.
Man. That countertop could really disappoint some comedians.
Oh, that didn't come out beautiful at all. Oh no!
That's how my mom used to do it.
So we're just gonna dust it with some icing sugar.
I am full crying right now.
I wasn't even
the
using a
whole
mic.
thing. 20 episodes of me just fucking it up.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I kind
Oh,
of
that's-
like if you go to the very last moment, you could
yeah.
probably see the what it actually looks like. At the end, it turned out looking pretty good.
Is this
Okay, is this the
no
finished product?
No, this isn't the no bake cookies. Wait, are we at the no?
Fade it off. Pop it down in the middle. Oh, it's gorgeous. All right, now I get to take sexy pictures of the food.
Okay, there we go. That's what it looks like.
Oh, that looked. Oh.
All right, so we did it. We made it. It looks right. Let's try some. Here we go.
Oh my god, your face.
I really want this cake.
It looks so
Oh my god, I
good.
did it.
I couldn't believe it came out okay.
Guys, it tastes just like Mom made. I did it.
Oh, the joy in your face.
I made the cake. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for subscribing and welcome to my new subscribers. If you like this video, please tell your friends
Okay,
and let me
There's probably better be real like at the very end, but that's also when it's like advertising
Yeah.
and stuff. But you get the idea of what the cake looks
That
like.
cake looks so good. Guys, go and check out Abigoliah's YouTube channel, just like Mom made.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll be I'm doing the Women in Comedy Festival next Sunday in Manchester, October 10th at 3:15 p.m. So if you fancy a matinee, get into it. Anyway,
yeah.
sorry for causing you guys to run over by 4 minutes, but
No, that's okay.
totally
That's
fine.
the
I'm
link in
glad-
the chat for that comedy festival gig as well.
My instincts were right to go this early into plugs and raids. Also,
Yeah.
I just want that chocolate cake now. Ashley, any plugs?
One plug, I'm doing Monkey Barrel this Saturday, 5:00 show. Come hang out. Come say hello. That's it.
Very good. I'm
Yeah.
doing Monkey Barrel at the end of November with Ashley Manning. It's an Edinburgh preview. Come see that show. I'm doing the Comedy Store in Los Angeles tonight with Jamali Maddox, and tomorrow in San Diego at the La Jolla Comedy Store. I'll be at the Comedy Chateau and Flappers Comedy Club on Thursday. Friday, I'm having dinner with Ann Lady. Saturday, I'm doing something. I'm in Huntington Beach with some probably skinheads because there's a lot of them there. And then Sunday, I'll be back here for the Untitled Twitch stream. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Let's raid someone and then get the fuck out of here.
Let's raid someone. Fox Comedy's on, Colt Cabana, Paleontologizing.
Shall we have Abigoliah? Let's have Tom pick. What do you say, Ashley?
Sure. Tom.
Tom, which of those names would you like us to raid? If you don't know what that means, it means we're going to move our audience over to those shows. So Paleontologizing, Colt Cabana, George Fox. Which one would you like?
Paleontologizing. I have no
Great
that
shout.
sounds Great.
Great shout. Really nice.
Great
And the
shout.
raid
Everyone's
message.
dinosaurs.
I would say the raid message is Wagon Wheel Tom. Wagon Wheel Tom.
Wagon Wheel Tom.
Wagon Wheel Tom.
That's not my mistake.
Well, it's your new
Okay.
nickname, Wagon Wheel Tom.
Wagon Wheel
Brilliant.
Tom.
My God, it's
Wagon Wheel Tom.
The raid
Uh,
is lined up. Guys, thank you so much. Tune in tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Why isn't this
Oh,
working?
did you press it?
Penis into her vagina. And that's all. That's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to